Which of these teams that are going to Masters London can survive the vibe shift that's incoming? I'm joined by a magician, TMV, who's doing bare tricks on it in the middle camera. I don't know what you're up to. And Shyo's barely woken, so this is going to be an episode of all time, I swear to God. But there is a patch on the horizon, and these teams, some of them are ready for it, some of them are going to get better, some of them are going to get worse. So I want to hit you up immediately. High key, low key, no key, who survives the vibe shift? So if they're high key surviving, that means they're getting better. I'm not just saying that they are surviving. Like, these guys are thriving in the vibe shift. Low key means that they're surviving. No key, they're like dropping off. They're dropping off.
Okay.
All right. Starting with the EMEA teams. Heretics. What's Heretics up to?
Low key. No key?
No key from me.
Okay, you talk about no key because I've done research on this. That was my entire plan for the grand finals. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm probably about to get blown out of the water if you throw a whole dissertation away, am I? So I would say, I think that we were talking about this a bit on Pledger yesterday, Josh, where like people think that they aren't doing a certain thing, but they are doing it quite a lot, and I do think it matters pretty significantly, even if Koshmaris isn't the main abuser of it in the most extreme ways. I still think he's abusing it to a degree because you're just used to abusing it to a certain degree. And I also think that for him specifically, like, if it doesn't work, I don't have evidence that he can play other stuff well, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily thinking that he can't do it, but I would be very worried, like, what if he isn't, right? Or like, if he tries to play other things, he's just not nearly as good on other duelist roles, and therefore they suffer pretty significantly. And I don't even think, like, with the way that Heretics work, I like, me and Shyo were co-streaming the games together, and we were talking about, like, Koshmaris, how important he is to this team, like his recent performance and how good, like, kind of good he's been for them doing his role, like, is very important to the team. And so I think even a small step down might impact this team quite a lot, which I assume that this nerf will at least be a small step down. And if it is a big step down, I think they could be in trouble because, again, I don't have, or I think we as a society don't have much information about Koshmaris playing other agents particularly well. He might be able to, but...
We as a society. You're really speaking broadly there for everybody out there. You're putting that out into the world right as the guy's about to rip out his dissertation on
I know.
playing other agents, I think.
Well, this guy's not part of the society. He's about to... he's living in the woods writing a dissertation about Koshmaris.
Well, here's the first thing I'll say. I have a mod in my chat who's a tier 2 coach who taught Koshmaris the Ares Odin gameplay. So I've got some sauce in the business. Yeah, so I understand the inception of it, where it came from. And he was very happy to see him thrive. So we were making fun of him when he wasn't in the beginning, but now he's laughing at all of us. I know how that feels. But now, here's my dissertation on Koshmaris. I wanted to see if he was a neon that actually targeted the player when he's doing his, Foon little bee hopping. But he's a neon that targets position. He always targets position first, then he'll just slide or do normal neon gameplay to the player. I think this is a low key, not a high key, and I don't think it's a no key either. Because I think all the neons that target players and do the jukes, jump through the walls, it's genuinely not possible anymore. But from neon to get from point A to point B first, then start the fight. He just sometimes does it without a slide, with a slide. Specifically, I was watching Breeze. Some of it is like completely impossible. Like, it'll take him an extra second or two to get to places. Neon's like one of his coolest paths was like going through the choke point in A on attack, and then actually jumping over like the middle barrier, like that little cleavage bench. I don't know what the official call for it is.
Cleavage.
And sometimes when I'm casting breach, it's over. I just say mid sight, or I just ignore things for 2 seconds as they're happening. Like, it's crazy, but like he'll jump over that, and like that momentous jumping is not going to be as possible. So his routes will be affected by like 1 or 2 seconds, but he never targets players, so I don't think it's a problem that like the jumping's gonna be affected by him the most. Even his entries on B on that map were just like very much so about getting into a position first, then fighting off with everyone else. Think about just the most basic stuff on Lotus, right? With the Odin, get into a position first, then spam. He doesn't even jump for that. He just slides and starts spamming. So Yeah, that's one thing for him. The other thing is this guy like kind of came into the scene malleable like Vora, but like on a duelist. Like this guy was, I'll play anything. Let me see what fits. Neon did, and he developed the positional Neon style over time. This is my same logic with Yoru, and it didn't work with Extra for some reason. But I think for Kashmaris, if you've learned this and it's positional based, you can just do it on any duelist. Like this ethos can work on any duelist. Raise, I blast pack into a position, then I get value, right? It's not going to be as crazy without it on Neon, but he's got some Raise under his belt. He's got some Waylay under his belt. Like this idea of how to path with Neon into a spot, then gain pressure is the Koshmar special. The only reason it's not high key is, dude, Neon was so good at getting into places the most creative ways, and his movement was actually good into getting those places. Not going to be able to do that anymore. Like we time things differently as well on the stream on different maps. 2 to 3 second nerf sometimes in certain positions, and like his timing was what was getting these guys kills. So it's low key for me. It's not no key, but here we are.
Can I just quickly?
You want to respond to the thesis?
I do want to respond to the thesis. Not that I disagree with the thesis, but I do think it's kind of an adjoining point. I think this is some terrific analysis we're coming out here hot, to be honest, about Team Heretics. But
yeah, I like it.
The thing I would say
don't expect it to continue, by the way, dear viewer. Don't expect.
No. We've spent actually a whole 5-year period zooming in on Team Heretics, and we don't know anything else about any other team. But you brought up Breeze specifically, and this is less about Koshmaris than the Neon stuff, but particularly in that comp and why I think they, like, this is an instance of how the nerf might affect them. I think they might need to change comp on Breeze because of this. Because if I was watching their Breeze against Vitality, they're playing, for those of you who don't know, they're playing the Sage Chamber, Solo Viper, Sova, Sage Chamber, and then Neon. And if you watch their attack side against Vitality, I mean, I was saying this during my stream, which is why it kind of came up to me, is Koshmaris has to survive. When they do execs, he must survive. If he dies early in the round, they lose the round. Because no one else, when they're playing Sage Chamber, no one else can, there's no second duelist to get close to him. Everyone else just then has to tiddlywinks, through the site normally, and it's very slow. And then you don't even have that much util to, push people off angles or anything like that, right? Because you're playing the double senti. So that is like an example of like where, even if it doesn't affect Koshmaris, even if you don't think it's going to be that big a deal for the Neon, I think that if you're playing like Heretics are, that kind of comp, it might impact you because the Neon is just easier to kill, right? Yeah. And in that comp, if Koshmaris dies, they did not. I think if Koshmaris was the first death, like within a couple seconds of him entering the site, they didn't win a round against Vitality on their attack side.
This nerf does make it more difficult to get through choke points, I think. There's like small areas. I agree with the general point that you're saying, Shyo, that the people that were trying to abuse it by gap closing onto site anchors, it's going to affect way more. Like those kind of style players. But I think also just getting through the choke point in the first place, a lot of people just naturally jump through. You're taking less snake bite damage, vulnerability timings, like all of this kind of stuff is just going to incrementally increase your chances of dying as you enter through choke points all over maps. So I'd be surprised if every team sticks to the Neon, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of people, I think for Heretics especially, because they've done so well with it and because Kosh is like so attuned to it, they probably will try to make it work as much as they possibly can. Unlike I would expect. Go on.
One last thing. It's just the one reason I might even teeter it towards high key. Shmar said an interview, I think, with Yinsu, where he said he actually prefers.
Yeah, I know, that's insane. Neon. That's insane.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, no,
I don't understand. Yeah. So I don't know what he's cooking, but anyways, yeah.
Anyway, the Team Heretics podcast will come to an end.
Yeah, Vitality. I want to move on to talking about Vitality because I feel like they're on the other side of things where Durka just does not want to play the Neon. He has never wanted to play the Neon. They forced him to play the Neon. They've put him in Neon jail. And now, I guess, he's going to be making the argument that, like, Neon's dead. Koshmaris is so wrong, bro. You got to let me out. You got to let me out. But how much, I mean, high key, low key, no key, do you think that they're going to be better? Do you think they're going to let him out of the jail?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You guys ever like play indie games or like see some media where like they tune into the sounds of hell sometimes and it's people screaming? You know that little meme that happens? I feel like every time we're on a POV of Durka playing Neon and like the observers switch to him, I can just hear people screams, like souls being crushed and pressured. Like this guy is not having fun. You can see it in the movement. You can see it in the gameplay. I think this team ascends like so much higher, leaving that stuff behind, getting him comfortable. They need like another pillar of a player like Kushmaris is to Team Heretics to like be reliable for this team. I feel like, I mean, these guys have fixed defense a little bit. Like they're starting to strategize a lot more. But if you look at the firepower they have on their roster, sometimes Profec is looking like their best player. I'm not saying that's a problem. Like shout out Profec. But you got Kron and Durka on here. Kron is dropping 3Ks, clutching you up rounds, but I need to see Durka opening up some stuff, like denying teams to even have an identity in a round sometimes. That was the Durka Classic before. How did that comeback happen against Loud? Like, this guy was Durking on him, top Icebox B-site. Like, I need that back. I need the instant 3K wonder back. And I feel like on Jett, on Raze, anything but Neon, it's possible for him. So with every other agent also not, or every other team not playing Neon as their main duelist, he can actually track people properly. There's less smokes, less fast lanes on the map. Even if people go away from Neon, that'll be huge for Durka. So
I think another thing as well is the main problem Vitality, or they do have a couple of problems, but one of the problems that they have is, you know, the disconnect sometimes within the team. And I do think that like a Neon can sometimes lean into that as well, right? When you've got a Neon Phoenix, let's say, you know, your Neon is in Narnia, the rest of the team is, you know, all huddled together still. And so I do feel, you know, and if you're playing Jett Raze, you know, they're probably not going to go, you know, nearly as kind of, you know, completely out on their own, particularly Jett. You're not going to be completely separated from the team. And so, and also I think it might just simplify things for them a bit as well. Particularly if Durka is more comfortable and confident. You know, we used to often talk about Durka as like, you know, he is being like, he's going to call what he wants, particularly on like defense side and stuff. It might just help him. Because like when we've listened to the Vitality comps, I don't think we've noticed like particularly like, you know, Durka being particularly vocal. It's mostly been like,
I mean,
Yampy and
in the past that narrative was about pre-barrier calls usually, rather than like mid-rounding. But yeah, you're right.
But yeah,
so
it should be a high key,
but it's like a low-key high key.
It's a low-key high key, yeah.
Right.
I think it's a high key. If you look at some of their losses as well in the past on some of these maps, like even when LaRock is going 8-16 against the team, like on Breeze, you see LaRock disrespecting a lot of space, always getting yellow, forcing fights at mid doors. Without Neon being strong, she doesn't get there at that time. Like you look at, you know, Easy and the stuff that he was doing against Vitality as well. Some of these quick scope slide op angles, some of the disrespect you can get, and like I feel like Vitality is so much of a structured team. A perfect example, Yampy on his drone Haven A defense side, always slow.
Oh, it's gonna help them with that if people aren't playing
Neon. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like Neon can't disrespect.
Actually, BBL is so back actually for stage 2 because Rose can hold A on his own again, just like they always wanted.
Yeah, there's so many pockets of like places on sites and certain strats that they used before that were strong, but this meta was actually just completely smushing over. So they just gain so much more, and the teams they're facing lose all the stuff that makes Vitality look bad. So if you're a Vit fan, might be Vit #1 for London. I don't know. I'm not saying that.
I mean,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
We'll get to the ShyoWager stuff later on. So we'll figure out whether or not we should believe this guy. Foot Esports. I'm gonna let Shyo begin actually. High key, low key, no key, Foot Esports after the Neon change.
For Foot, I feel like it's a bit of a low key. Like Sop can just play Jett. Like it's not the biggest thing. I don't think it was part of his ethos so much so that he was carrying on forward with Neon. There were some cool overdrives and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm gonna say low key. Not even no key, not high key. I feel like Sop has a deep enough pool, and we've seen some cool stuff with him on different agents before. To rock it down, they could lean into like Phoenix as well with Zeus more, and then Sop plays like more of the Jett and the supplementary dive if they want. I know there's a role clash, which is why it's not high key between Zeus and Sop, but that's my takes on a low key.
I think it's a low key.
Okay.
I
He's
think it's
resisted the urge.
I think that there are ways that it helps them in a way. I talked about this on Plat Chat a bit, that like Sop opping on Neon I think is often detrimental, particularly on their attack side. But I do think it might help them in a way because like it might push them. I'm not even sure if this will work, but I kind of want to see if it will work. I want to see if like Zeus's Waylay I think is good. And I want to see if they might go in a Waylay direction because his Waylay is actually
Waylay Phoenix or something. What?
I
double dive?
I want to know if Sop can play. The problem is Sop loves opping so much that I'm not sure he would want to play Phoenix.
I don't think he would play the Phoenix. Yeah,
but like if he would, I would be kind of interested in that. But even if because FUT are going to be going into this tournament and they're going to need, I think, to find something that is a bit different about them, and I do think that this nerf might push them to find something that is different that no one else is playing. If it is something like a Waylay, and like, oh shit, people haven't played against Waylay in a while. They're not used to it, especially like in a double dive Waylay. I mean, Shyo's pulling a terrible face, but I do think
I'm switching to no-key, man. I'm switching to no-key for this team. This team is falling off the planet. We got their #1 correspondent being like, they could change some stuff up. Guys, it's looking dire. They don't have time, TMV. If we don't have a confident switch right now, my voice can't even keep up. We don't have time.
I don't agree. I don't think it'll change that much because like Zeus knows how to play the agent. He's already played it on a decent amount of the maps anyway.
Bro, yeah, I know. He's been a fucking agent for the other team half the time when he's on Waylay, stunning up his boys coming in.
On Phoenix, he's been an agent of Chaos quite a bit.
The fact you're suggesting Zeus Waylay is like the most revisionist history I've seen for his performance on Waylay. No, he's had some big blunders on that character that no other team has had with their duelist.
Well, also no one else is playing Waylay. It's pretty difficult. But
well, compare him to Timotino. You know what I'm saying? There's a night and double day difference.
Timotino hasn't played it since 1942,
and he hasn't played it since 1941. Like both these guys haven't played it in a while. But look at the form.
No, Zeus has been playing it recently. He's been playing it. What's the map where they play it? I can't even remember. Is it their Haven comp? Yeah, their Haven comp.
Yeah, they're on the Haven.
Yeah.
Oh, well, contextually,
they play it on Haven and they play it on Lotus. So they do. Still
the other thing that they might.
I don't think it'll work though. I don't know why I'm defending FUT.
Maybe they could play a chamber comp as well. Maybe they could try something like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
the one thing is that like these guys could at least link up more together because I feel like sometimes it's Sop doing his thing, Zeus doing his thing, but like. Say you put Sop on something very traditional like a Raze and you're going Phoenix Raze or like Phoenix Jett at the same time. I feel like leaning into Phoenix is better into this one rather than the Waylay stuff. Even if it is Waylay though, at least they can play on the same pace. But I feel like it would just take the op away from Sop. So I'm not sure how good that is because he's a really good opper.
Yeah, it's his most played agent, Neon. He's a little bit like a Koshmaras. I mean, we don't talk about Sop in the same kind of way, but he, even before this meta, I think it was still his most played agent. So, like, these newer players that come up and they're, like, new on the scene, they just have been playing a lot of Neon because it's been good.
They haven't got the 1,000 games of Jett like all of the old guys do.
Well, like the next team I'm going to talk about, which is Paper X. Could there be a more high-key team to improve?
No, we can move on this. We can move this one on pretty quick, I think. This is just an obvious high key.
It's just insane.
They're already in that direction. It just helps them more, yeah.
Yeah, they play it on Breeze. I think they'll just change up their Breeze composition and then
they play it on Fracture as well. But again, that's a map where they've got something on Brim and Forsaken on Neon.
They could change their Fracture comp anyway. I don't like Envy on Breach to begin with. Like just put him on Fade and pick a different comp. All good. Full Sense.
This is a high key as well.
You think they get better with the Neon nerfs?
Yeah, because I think the Primi Jett. It was I mean, the thing is, we were talking about this a couple of weeks back. Like when you have such a good Phoenix player, like Primi's Phoenix was unbelievable, like unreal, and obviously he's Primi, so he gets an ult like every other round. So that is just like an unbelievable thing. But then when they made the switch, bringing him over to Jett, I mean, he's just been dominating games as well. So I just think like they're in a maybe less, like obvious situation because I think Jitboy's Neon is like pretty decent, but. I think that they're in a good spot and they're already heading in that direction. So, they're a baby version of Paper Rex in terms of this discussion.
Yeah. All right, let's move on then. So, EMEA, we've got two, I'm going to say no-key teams. Yeah, two concerns. One that should get better. In Pacific, we've got two teams that we think should get better, and they're already a good region with good teams. What about Global Esports? Because they're never a meta team anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit. They're a strange one. Will they get better with the nerfs? I'm not sure they'll necessarily get better. I would just put them as a low key. I think, like,
in the sense that they're apathetic to it. It doesn't change things one way or another.
Yeah, in a sense, like, you know,
If that's the case, they're high key then, because that means that every other team is getting weaker across the board. But the question
but
is,
they do still, like, Eurotan, if you look at like his last 30 days or whatever, you know,
He played a
he's played
lot.
12 games of Neon, 2 of Sage, 1 of Raze. So it's like he is still mostly playing Neon.
but I feel like his Neon's not the best. So if they move away from
No,
Neon,
but like if you look at all of his stats, they're not the best.
Yudotan last year was really good though. I mean, I don't know. I think he is a good player, but I think global play in such a weird way, bro.
yeah. I would only I take the key away from them a little bit just because I feel like they prefer the chaos that Neon causes, even if it's on the enemy team. Like they're really good at solving messy rounds, and the more structured a round gets back and forth, that's where sometimes maybe the firepower is lacking or the cohesion is lacking a little bit. Every player has like a really cool, if the round needs an X factor and if it needs to be activated everywhere, like it's amazing. But maybe in more structured gameplay where Neon's not coming in and they can't find like pocket timings because of fast lanes coming up and smokes being everywhere. I think one of the biggest things too for them is they have this double sentinel stuff sometimes that's happening, or the reliance on Sage a lot. What is Sage blocking then if Neon is not being picked as much, right? Like the value for GE kind of goes down in what they're good at right now. So that's where I say take the key down a little bit. It can't be high key.
No,
I mean,
I think they're
Frost did an interview where he said, just delete the agent, bro. And like in the 2 games that they just lost, he's playing more Neon than there's only one map of Neon that he played against, and he's like, "I fucking hate this agent. Delete the agent." And it's like, you didn't even play against it.
Yeah, he's always got some unusual read on what his team should be playing. I think anti-meta teams get worse if you don't know what your opponents like, if you don't have a crystal clear idea of what your opponents are playing. And also, the more like if all of your opponents are playing the same way, you can come up with the same anti-meta plan and it works against lots and lots of different teams. But if your opponents are going to be playing a large variety of different stuff, which we don't know yet, but it feels like it'll probably get a bit more open. Like some will still be sticking to the Neon, some will be going heavy towards the Jett Phoenix, some of them might be moving away to a different double dive like Jett Raze. So I think it'll be harder to game plan at Masters London for them. I think they might even be a no-key team, but I think low-key's safe. What about then some of the Americas teams? So Leviathan, who play almost exclusively Neon with their Phoenix and Chamber kind of compositions.
I mean, they have to be they have completely lost the key. The key has been thrown away. There's no finding it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to be the most impacted team. I don't know.
Like, would they? I mean, because we're talking about with Kosh, he's the only player that we've talked about so far where we were like, oh yeah, stick with the Neon probably. Does Spike just stick with the Neon? Because the thing is, Spike was intended to be in this team as more of a flex player.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't a Neon meta, in theory, you have Neon and a fucking stupid ass team with their stupid names. If it's not a Neon meta, you have the players known as Sato and Neon who play Duelist for you. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Like, so there really isn't a huge amount of time to do that kind of stuff.
No. And I think that one of the main factors that would stop them from doing it as well is Neon is playing so well on his, like, you know, chamber role or whatever. I mean, again, yeah. But the player Neon is playing incredibly well right now on chamber, or a lot of chamber. And so I feel like changing that feels wrong, because, like, if he starts, you know, you put him back on Duelist, you put Spike on...
His Duelist has been nasty good as well, though, actually. Because he plays Duelist on... Where the hell does he play Duelist? I swear Neon's been playing Duelist on, like, one of their maps, and now I can't remember which one.
Yeah, he's got 3 Jett games here, so...
Yeah.
Breeze, maybe?
Yes, it's Breeze.
But yeah, he's played some Chamber, Brim, Omen. So, I mean, it's all a bit mixed up right now. I mean, they do, I suppose, have the flexibility to change, but I just think that, like, what got them here is what they're doing currently. And I kind of wouldn't trust this team, as we'll get into in a little bit, to change things much.
Yeah.
Well, here's one thing that they could do, but like that doesn't affect the player Neon. He can still play whatever he wants to play. But for Neon, the agent for this team, Spikes in on 2G and like incoming into things as well in the Yoru meta. Played a lot of Yoru, played a lot of like this position 2/3 that initiates that, you know, for everybody else on the team as well. He has Gecko, KO under his belt too. They could go double any put Sato out of like agent, identity hell, because sometimes Sato is not playing duelist. That really bothers me. Lock him in on Phoenix or like solo Jett, whatever it is. Double innie for him, or like double duelist support Sato and focus more on Sato being the mainstay in every composition instead of Spike, being the main Neon in every comp. That could be a nice switch, and he has a history, Spike said specifically, just in supporting and being the flex player more. Dude, this guy's Gecko games. Like, who the fuck's playing Gecko nowadays? But like, even
But
in overtime,
double
like,
duelist doesn't really fit with the flex. Like I think playing double duelist double innie is, I don't see that as being a viable composition heading into London.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying playing solo duelist double innie, or one smoke, one sentinel. Like, keep him on chamber when it comes to Neon and stuff. Like, Lev could change, but that kind of takes away from Lev's entire identity of we're going to double duel dive you. Yeah. So I mean,
I think Spike will just stick with it. I think Spike will stick with it.
Really? I mean, he can,
I don't think he's got as much going on as Kosh. Like, I think Kosh will adapt to the change better than Spike. I think the America's Neons went so far in abusing what has been specifically nerfed that they're going to be worse. But I think it changes their identity too much if Spike goes away from it.
But it doesn't exist.
Unless he plays like Omen. Does he play Omen on every map? Like, what does he run?
He just runs the indie stuff, and like you keep King on Omen. For the maps that need Viper, you put King on Viper, him on like maybe a smoke, or who was playing smokes on those maps? Neon, maybe, and then they double up him with an initiator. Listen,
maybe.
All I'm saying is, like with Yoru, right? Gate Crash Yoru got taken away, and Gate Crash Yoru is the only reason he was in pro play. You can barely even play him in rank now. Like, but his identity is still kind of there. For Neon, you take away Foon Neon, this B-Hop Neon. I think that's one of the only reasons she's in pro play. I think without B-Hop Neon, you can't play this agent. And like she does not.
You're literally arguing the opposite for Koshmaris.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, for him and the way, like, he's has such a unique take on it.
Right.
It's fine. I thought it'd be the same for Exter.
Well, yeah.
For some reason, they didn't want to keep him on Yoru.
Yeah,
but, like,
I mean, Spike and Kosh do play very differently.
Yeah, okay.
G2, high key, low key, no key. Do they survive the vibe shift?
High key. Next question. I mean, these guys don't rely on the Scammertazi business. Yeah, Jog can do it, but I swear to God, Jog's movement looks fucking crazier on Jett than it does on Neon, which is insane to me, for me to even say.
I don't think he ever really took to the Neon that much, did he?
Yeah.
It's weird.
And if they want to play it, they might, and he might just slide in. He might not jump around. Like, they're an honest team. G2's a pretty honest team. We're chilling.
Yeah, I don't think they need Jog to be going that crazy. Actually, it's
and
like
Baby Bay maybe it's a low key, because Baby Bay has this identity right now of playing Vise, who I think is really meta because of Neon. If Neon's going away, and Baby Bay is switching off of Vise, has to maybe think about the game a little bit with Chamber, that could be a problem.
Vice is always good, though. Unless teams are playing Jett Rays, maybe, or something like that.
Which they might be.
They might be on some maps. Yeah, or if they're playing Waylay. But, like, generally, if people are still playing a lot of Phoenix, and Phoenix is really, really good, I think Vice is going to be good.
Cool.
Let's have a look at NRG.
High key again. America's rise. Mana is not a scammer. He is ethical. And he doesn't need Neon. That being said, Mata in the dissertation VOD reviews does use scamming like tendencies a lot. Like he's got the movement, he's got the sauce with Neon. That being said, he's also the 5-finger duelist, man. Chop off one of the fingers, you become an assassin, or like you can become John Wick. It's totally fine. Choose your media reference. Like it's he'll be cool. They can just run every other comp. That being said, also anti-meta team. So like, does that change things when every other team's not playing Neon?
I don't think they're going to do that anymore.
What is NRG's identity?
I think they're going to go more into the Kiko Phoenix. I think the Kiko Phoenix and Mata Jett sounds like it would work so well for them. I think they're going to become a meta team, personally.
Ah, okay.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Ethan will play KO instead, because he was playing the KO on Breeze. He might play the KO on...
So nice.
He might play the KO on Ascent too, which would put them, like, weirdly enough, in an anti-meta position by playing the most famous comp of all time on Ascent.
I mean, KRÜ were getting... I mean, I've never seen a team so scared of one KO flash. That KO flash he was just doing down mid on Breeze, and they were just like, what do we do? Les is just like,
legendary
what do I do?
conditioning. Legendary
what do I
conditioning.
do? Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It was a great game plan. 100 Thieves, final team. High key, low key, no key. Do they survive the vibe shift?
High key.
Low. TMV, you go ahead.
I think it's high key. I think Timo has shown enough on others. I mean, you know, I don't have like the biggest knowledge base. You know, I wasn't. Sorry, Shy. I wasn't supporting tier 2 TSM fully last year.
That's
so I'm
fucked
not,
up.
Not 100%. But just looking at his games played, he's been in the game long enough to where he's got 160 maps of Jett and 147 of Raid.
His Jett was nasty, actually. His Jett was really fun to watch.
He's like Baker's Zed. So, like, it's this guy, Well, what do you mean? It's true. It's his comfort pick.
I don't know enough about League of Legends, but there can't be any world in which it's reasonable to compare Timotino, a rookie player, to Faker's Zed or whatever you
In context, like for him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his. I just chose the player in his comfort pick. My bad. I might have insinuated other things. I'll step back. You check me respectfully. Yeah, absolutely. But for Timo, I want to see the Jett come back, man. I mean, it'd be sick to have him just consistently on that agent. Like, I think he's had good performances. They played it once or twice in Tier 1 as well. Honestly, give me the Timo Jett and the Timo Sage half the time, I guess. I want to see them play Ascent more. I'm not sure if they've rocked Ascent recently.
I don't think they've played it at all, have they?
Yeah, they haven't. That was like one of their specialty maps this TSM.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think they'll be really good at it if they bring it out this week.
Yeah. So hyped up. They have a big match to win. A lot on the line. So.
All right.
So basically, EMEA are losers again.
EMEA, unfortunately, even though they look like they've recovered their form, we're now saying they're going to be plummeted back down again because of the patch. They just about caught up.
Americas are also losers, just not the teams they're sending to London. I feel like the rest of Americas, if you ask about these teams, like...
Yeah. If KRÜ were going instead,
if KRÜ were going, huge losers. FURIA, enormous losers, the biggest losers, I would say. Maybe KRÜ are even bigger. It could have been a disaster for Americas, and if
C9 was going, regardless of the changes, we'd be losers. Like, dude, it's insane.
Don't bring up things that can never happen, Cho.
Last special team, though, because I have a little bit of sauce on them, EDG. I want to put into the doorknob. I think these guys go high key. I haven't watched enough of like DRG and XLG to have a take. I don't think DRG relies on it too much specifically because they have a different game plan with the way they approach the game. But EDG specifically have got like Smoggy playing like Phoenix half the time, which is really cool. Yeah, and they're not really relying too much on the Neon Kong, more of a slower opera on the Jett half the time too. The biggest thing, enemy teams not playing this Neon, going to towards a more ethical style of play where the op can see more now. I feel like in the meta, no Yoru, no Neon, by the way, guys. Sure. Like the intended change they wanted in January is happening now, by the way, which is kind of insane. Like this is where the game can really slow down. Neon masked what the game was supposed to be like from Valorant side of things. Like it's gonna be crazy. The coolest other thing too, by the way, random tangent, is that these 12 teams. I saw this on I think the Vitality podcast. These 12 teams are playing this patch specifically. And then they're going to be going on to a different patch after the fact. Like every other team in the world is not ever maybe going to play this specific version of Valorant at London. Yeah, like in a month and a half after London, we're going to be somewhere else entirely for champs. Like that's kind of insane. So it'll be fun to see if this is like the spotlight moment for like China, especially specifically EDG, to like play their perfect game. It's kind of nuts.
I mean, that's fun. Let's get into our next segment. Let's go to the Galaxy Brain Club to keep discussing a little bit of meta stuff, because TMV was, you need a Galaxy Brain to be able to interpret what TMV's found on the internet.
Hold up, TMV, show them the pen. Show them the pen right now. Look what his brain can do.
Pressure.
Look at this. Look at this. Dude, oh my God.
That was pretty fast. That was pretty fast.
For the audio listeners, my space around me was bending as TMV balanced that pen on his finger. Oh my goodness.
So there was an interview with Leaf where he was talking about Phoenix and how he's getting to play like, a good agent. The title of this was Phoenix is a little overtuned, feels good to be playing an agent that's kind of broken. And, given Phoenix's win rates and stuff like that, have been incredibly high throughout the entirety of the season. I did a video about this a couple of weeks ago, how, at the start of the year, it was basically he's only getting played on Pearl and Haven, and he has a really high win rate. And normally the agents that have a high win rate are those kind of agents, like your Brims tends to have like a high win rate because people only play them on Bind and Frag. You know, you only play them on the maps they're good on, and you don't play the maps that they're not good on. But during this stage, we started to see, you know, Phoenix on Fracture, Phoenix on, you know, a bunch of maps, right? Like, I mean, people are playing them on Breach. Like, pretty much every map has seen some level of Phoenix. And certainly back then, when I was checking the stats, his win rate was even higher. It had gone up from just him playing on Pearl and Lotus. Pearl and Haven, sorry. So that was like, oh, Phoenix is fucking popping off right now. This is absolutely insane. And so you've got Leaf, you know, saying stuff like this. But I think in a lot of people's minds, it's like, wait a minute. If you've been here for, you know, longer than ShyoWager, you'll know Phoenix was considered dog shit. Like, Phoenix was considered a meme pick that no one ever went to, apart from like Paper X on Pearl. And that was notable because it was like, why the fuck are they? Holy fuck, this is working. They're the one team that's made Phoenix look decent. Because it was shit. And I think when you hear, you know, pro players say like, oh, you know, Phoenix is a bit overtuned, it just kind of shows that how our perceptions have been so fucking warped of where we used to be to where we are now, that we've got fucking Phoenix is way too strong. Phoenix needs to nerf. Now, if you were to nerf Phoenix, I do think there is one area that I think makes sense because it's a larger problem with the game, and that is his ult being 6 points, right? I think it's completely reasonable that his ult might be 7 points instead, because I think Valorant has a snowballing problem, and one of the, you know, things about that is, you know, ults. And Phoenix ult in particular, being only a 6-cost ult, you know, often you will see, if you win pistol, third round, Phoenix has an ult with a rifle. And you can very easily snowball that. And I do think that that is a problem that is just like a problem with the game more wide, that Phoenix might need to pay the penalty. Like we've seen with many other agents, you know, their ults have gone up, you know, over the years. Phoenix might need to pay that penalty too. I think that is reasonable. But in terms of like, you know, the rest of Phoenix's kit or the abilities themselves, we got to bring everything up. We can't keep nerfing this shit. It's over. We got to stop buffing the rest. Because the thing is, you might think, well, was Phoenix always just broken and we didn't realize it? Well, no, because I've got the stats from the previous years. Phoenix had like a 48% win rate over the previous 2 years in about 60 non-mirror games played. So it wasn't like he was broken in the past. It wasn't like we were all missing something with Phoenix in the past. Every other agent just wasn't completely fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. Phoenix was bad, though, in the past. He's been micro-buffed patch after patch after patch. Oh, make the molly do more damage. Oh, make the flash hinder you for longer in the flash.
That's true, but a lot of these happened still during last year. A lot of these still happened during last year, and he was not, when he got played, he wasn't broken.
No, but last year he went through changes as well. The wall and the molly changes were pretty recent, and the fact that he doesn't need to sit still while healing anymore. Like, dude, the first time I saw that in the rank, I'm like, this guy's trolling. He just mollied himself for a second and started, what? His health is going up? Why did they change that? That's insane.
They have buffed.
Yeah.
But I think it's a combination of a couple of things. One is that, right, if you actually watch the games with Phoenix, there is value with the ultimate, but the biggest value that people are getting is with the flash. Compared to every other flash in the game, the pros are getting more blinded this year by Phoenix flashes than I have ever seen the pros get blinded since Breach had 3 flashes in 2021. But like when people weren't able to turn Breach flashes in 2021 and there were 3 on each team and you would have clips of Zipan being like blinded for 20 seconds at a time. Since then, the pros have never been blind. Like they turn every Breach flash. They turn the majority of Sky flashes as well. I mean, KO, you have to be really good with the KO in order to get that value out of it. Phoenix, two things changed with the flash. One is that the speed increased. That was a huge buff to Phoenix when they did that. And I think they even tuned it down a little bit over time.
Yeah, they did.
But the speed was like insanely different. If you look at old Phoenix, back when everyone thought he was crap, and then Phoenix now, the flash comes out way quicker. But the other thing that changes, people get better with the tech because they play him more. Like, for example, now everyone flashes out the top of the smokes instead of the side of the smokes. If you go back even a couple years to the stats that you're looking at, TMV, people are bots with the Phoenix flash. They're throwing it out the side of smokes and you can like tuck around an edge of a smoke and just dodge the flash entirely. Now people throwing it out the top, blinding everybody. It's really, really difficult to dodge. People have got way better with the mollies, using the molly on execs, using the molly to stop flood defenders, molly lineups. Like literally every Phoenix player has a molly lineup for every bomb site, basically, which is just not a thing that you could say about Phoenix at any other point of the game. Maybe like it used to be interesting when somebody knew that A reclear on Ascent. That was the one molly that people would learn. And then the wall, people have got a lot better with the wall. Like people have figured out that you can break lockdowns with the wall and the molly. Like that's a really nice piece of tech. People are using the wall to clear bricks on Breeze. Like people are getting a lot better with just the tech of Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm not.
The wall previously was never being used for anything interesting.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not, but to quickly push back, like when they changed Phoenix, you might have thought it was recent. It was 2024 when they changed Phoenix.
Yeah, we saw Sadak trying to make it work with QCK.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like this is the time. Like, Phoenix. Think about how long ago that is in your fucking head. QCK and Sadak playing on like this is Phoenix when he's getting buffed. So to me, it's like okay. I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, people are finally putting the bare minimum effort to learn a fucking couple lineups and whatever. I mean, they could do this with any fucking agent. The thing is, like, I agree. The flashes, people are getting caught by the Phoenix flashes. They can't turn them, which is rare for pros. We're not used to seeing this. Yeah. I remember, I think Anders did a thing a very long time ago at this point about how flashes are fucking not that good. Most of them get turned, and those that don't, it doesn't make a difference. A lot of people are able to survive quite a lot, but that was back in the game when other people had utility to throw back. So maybe it is different now because no one can. But I just think like the game as a whole, we've just. I mean, this is a wider point. I'm
going to tee you up. I'm going to tee you up, TP, which is that the other thing that I haven't mentioned is that the Flash Initiators are dead. The Flash Initiators, they killed them. They took them to a farm upstate, put a bullet to the back of their head, and even with the Sky recent re-nerf, why would you ever want to be playing Sky in the comp when she struggles to scale the same way that Phoenix does, and the flashes are not going to get you the same level of value? Like, if the Flash Initiators had never been nerfed into the ground, people wouldn't have tried to play double duelist comps. No one would have got better with Phoenix, and they would have continued playing the Flash Initiators. But now that they're all in the grave, and people have realized that you actually can make the Phoenix comps work, there's no reason to go back until they buff the Flash Initiators back up to a strong level again. And then, you're just going to have a bit of a cycle of people going back and forth, I think, depending on what they perceive to be most busted.
I think the main point is that in a world where now people have learned the Phoenix tech, if you put him back into, a 2025 meta or something, like his win rate might be decent, but it wouldn't be, 60+%, whatever it is now, right? It wouldn't be fucking dominant. I mean, that just is such an unrealistic thing, and at this point, like, Phoenix has had enough games to where you probably go like this is across enough teams to where this is a reasonable sample size to start looking at this now. Like, there's just no way though. There's just no way that this agent would be considered that good just because you got a couple flashes that
Well, you had a busted Yoru and a busted Sky, and
that's the thing. People could do things back to it.
Yeah.
Now you can't because everything's shit. Fuck me.
Well, yeah, he's the third best option in a world where 1 and 2 don't exist anymore, and everybody's playing the third best of everything. Everything else has been nerfed.
The KO right click though is something that, like, because KO. Here's the other part: is that Phoenix is really easy to use. I'm talking about tech.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, you could learn that tech as a diamond player, guys. Like, that is not really tech. It's just you have to know it exists in order to go and learn it and do it. Yeah. That's the big thing: is people discovering it and thinking to do it in the first place. But it's not difficult to execute. Phoenix is a very easy character to execute. KO, on the other hand, you can know tech with KO, like how to throw a pop flash for a teammate or something. Finding the right moment to execute it in the middle of a frantic scenario is way harder to get value out of than the Phoenix, and I think that it makes a big difference, because in theory the right click KO flashes are really strong too, a bit like the Phoenix flashes, and in theory the kit still offers you actually quite a lot of good stuff, and people could be playing it on Ascent and could be playing it on Breeze. Some people are, but the difference is the ease of being able to access its potential is a lot harder, and so why?
But I think you see that when you see Ethan play it versus other people, because Ethan knows what the fuck he's doing.
Ethan versus Bati, like the fact that there's a Bati flash now is hilarious. Or like if you try to flub your flash off the wall and it fails, like
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was the G2 comms where like Leaf was fighting a KO and like he tried to do like off the pyramid, just off the wall next to him, and you just hear Leaf saying body flash, and everyone just kills the KO. It's so funny because Bati tried to like back breeze, back B site, like entering the lane.
Right.
And you just hear a flash go dunk, and like you're easily gonna look away. Like there's no point in doing the left click off the wall. But I think the biggest thing for Phoenix and what the game needs to get back into the Galaxy a little bit. I like what TMV said in terms of equalizing Phoenix across the board a little bit and whatnot. Like with his ult, Josh is saying put it up a point. I would say maybe lessen the time. I like these 6-point ults. Like I feel like they should be in the game, but they should be appropriately 6 points. I want to complicate the game a little bit and not have it so homogenous. The biggest thing though is the flash needs to be on the same level as Yoru. Give him one flash, refreshable. If you want, you can say something like, if he ults, he gets a flashback immediately. Because people are saying, it'd be nice to have 2 flashes when you actually end up ulting. You have a second thing coming in. But have him have 1 flash that regens. Yeah. And put Yoru's flash on a regen as well. Who wants to gate crash twice? Who wants to refract twice as Waylay? Give her the dash as well. And make the game fun a little bit, right? As we go through planet to planet in this galaxy, talking about buffs and nerfs across the board. The game does need to be equalized in a bit for everyone to get stronger. But, I think Phoenix needs a little bit of a tone down. In creative ways. I don't want to just make him a 7-point ult when I like the 6 points. That one of the biggest reasons he's being picked is, initially it was Pearl, easy to get orbs on attack. We can spam ults over and over again. I don't want that identity to go away just because he's a bit strong. Like that deserves to stay.
Okay, all right. We've accessed the Galaxy Brain Club.
Yeah,
I'd like to move on to a hot take. I got some hot takes for the hot hands.
Okay,
this one's a diabolical hot take. I gotta be honest with you, because it's, listen, I'm going to preface this by saying this is me being a salty America's caster with no audience this week. But when I watched the VODs in the Pacific Grand Finals, I had a worse time watching the Pacific Grand Finals than if it had just been in the Pacific normal setup, or even I think the one that they did were they in Tokyo before as well? Maybe it was the Tokyo one. Like that Tokyo one was real clean, real nice. Like I don't know what exactly it was. This one was. I genuinely had a worse experience watching those matches than if they had kept it in the main arena with the audience. And I'm not saying that I always have that experience because it's different when I'm watching the China games. I mean the production's like clean as fuck. But this week you had all sorts of weird stuff going on. I mean the HUD was out of sync for almost the entirety of the weekend. The crowd mic, I've got a problem with Valorant crowd mics. Almost every event, if you watch any Counter-Strike, they are doing it way, way better than we are in terms of the audio. But crowd mic, the Vietnamese broadcast leaking through the crowd mics, leaking through the English cast on mics. They have to put such a heavy noise gate that like every 5th word that Paperthin says just disappears into the void. The webcams as well were frequently showing the wrong stuff. The cams were sometimes being cut at the wrong time. Like day one,
you're not even coming up with the worst thing, which was there was an hour break between the games.
Oh God, yeah.
Incredibly long breaks between the games, yeah. And they did a lot of fun stuff too. But here's my worry: is this is gonna be what we do a lot next year? Like if they are traveling around and going from place to place to place, this is the level of quality that we should actually probably expect, because there are going to be hiccups in terms of what you do if you're constantly on the road, if it's a big traveling roadshow kind of thing. And I think from a theoretical point of view, it's hype as fuck. Like you have a huge crowd there, that adds more energy. It should be more exciting to watch from home. But if the audio is all muddy and you can't really hear the crowd anyway because they have to noise gate the microphones so heavily, the whole point of being in a live arena like that is to make it more fun for the more people watching at home. There are hundreds of thousands of people watching at home. There are thousands of people in the arena. The priority is that the arena people are supposed to create an atmosphere for the people at home. And I don't think that came through at all. I think that's been a major thing that's been a problem in lots of our events. I'm not saying that this is a particular exception to the rule, but we're going to get this more and more and more. Like, it's got to be better than it was at the Pacific Grand Finals, in my opinion. Like that was a detriment, in my opinion, watching the VODs.
So to push back not on the main point, but on next year, is of course that for this, it was like 3 days, but the cups obviously are going to last a couple of weeks. So whilst you're right that, and maybe initially it won't be as good, those should be like the less consequential games anyway. And hopefully that means that by the end they will have fixed it. This is the copium take, that for the cups next year, by the grand final of the cups, or the final days, they will have already been there for a couple of weeks. You would hope that they would have perhaps sorted out any like technical hiccups that they might have encountered. But you know much more about this because you work on the broadcast than me. So maybe that everyone's lazy and they're not gonna. Everyone's lazy and they're just not gonna bother.
Well, they said that the amount of cities that they're going to is a lot higher than the amounts of events that they have. So reading into that announcement, my assumption is that each event must necessarily be at multiple places. And so probably you get a situation like we used to have with some of the Masters events where the final weekend is in a different place.
Yeah.
So that's my assumption based on what they've announced.
Well, that's not good.
But in that situation, you would have actually the most important games. You really have to tighten that up real quick.
Well,
I mean, if the developer gets, dude, iShowSpeed is streaming underwater and in a helicopter with no brakes, no noise gate. It's big chilling. If he's figuring it out over time, I feel like these guys can figure it out too. Build a team. Vietnam is step one. It's practice for 2027. If they can bring that team over to different places, it goes fine. If they have one team in Asia that's walking around, one team in the EMEA region, more of the European side of EMEA walking around, I feel like they just get bolstered up, and from city to city, it becomes more consistent. I'm actually more of a hoper than a doomer on this one.
iShowSpeed might have a larger production budget than
I was going to say
really?
Valorant. I don't know.
I have a higher viewership.
I genuinely don't know.
Well, my other thing too is like, if we're calling out Pacific, I want to call it Americas, because how can you guys have on average?
How are they fucking paying this guy still to cast?
No, I'm just saying like when I watch the EMEA broadcast, right? Like APAC, I understand because like there's different audio being pumped into the arena, so like Paper Thin and Achilleos, or Quack and Elfish Guy, like they're not going to be getting, or Elfish Guy. I said Elfish
Davai.
Yeah, Davai. They're not going to be getting the same level of like a treatment on their comms, like in the Echo and stuff, as at EMEA in Americas. But EMEA's audio with 6 people at the arena and like a baby sometimes, it seems amazing. It feels like there's a Chilean crowd light behind them sometimes and what's going on. But like half the people, America's has so many people, I barely get to hear them. Sometimes Vans is doing like audience activations. What do you guys think of that? But like everyone's cheering. What is the mixing on that? Like, I need them to activate like me when I'm listening, to it not be a remote broadcast. It feels like there's a remote broadcast.
I think that
half the time.
this is a big problem across Valorant. I have this with the Masters events sometimes too, especially back in the past. Like the Masters events used to be horribly crowd mic'd. I think they've done a bit better of a job of that recently, though.
My thing too, the crowds at these Masters need to be respected a bit more for being there. I like what you said about the 1,000 people at the venue need to be, catered to a bit more. That's what this event is for. Why is it that we have a YMCA basketball setup where everybody's on one side of the balcony and the players are playing over there? Toronto was cool. You could stand behind them a bit. I love Paris. Are we just saving it for champs, I guess, where the audience is wrapped around the players? Why are they always on one side?
San Diego, they had them fully wrapped around.
But again, Santiago, the crowd is built different. Not every region has the ability to pop the fuck off like that. Allow them to. I know there's a whole production thing around it. I'm just saying, I'm telling the single player Skyrim guy to add multiplayer to his game. I'm telling the devs to just patch the game, do this, do that. I know it's complicated behind the scenes, but I would love it if we could prio like more engagement right around the setups. Again, Toronto, I'm biased. I was there. I know more about it.
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't it the same at Santiago? Like, didn't they have that at Santiago?
Because you'd be behind the players in Santiago, I swear it was like a little bit of a curve, but it wasn't like directly encapsulating everybody. I could be forgetting.
They had a walk-on area, and obviously you can't be in that path, but the rest of the 360 had players.
It was accessible.
Yeah.
Okay, on camera it might have looked a little bit
Champs
different.
Paris,
No, I think it
wasn't. I mean,
well, the group stage.
When we were,
me and TMV went to the world's most diabolical. People can't believe that, by the way. When I say that to people, they're like, "No, the Paris crowd was good." I'm like, "Were you fucking there?" No, you weren't.
me, Josh,
and I know that you weren't.
And about 4 other people watching T1 watching T1 play G2, who had previously played in a final against each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
good times.
the-
Watching
the
T1
Paris
not show
crowd
up.
did not turn
Frauds.
up. I mean, massive props to the Vietnamese crowd because they went.
I mean, you say the Paris crowd didn't show up. What was the village called that we were in? You say the Paris crowd.
Oh yeah,
You mean
every
the
coucaron.
yeah, the
Yeah.
heavy Kukaron, the 20 people living there
Yeah.
didn't show up every day.
It just it makes me
yeah.
makes me worried because we don't have a track record of producing like regular, excellent live roadshow type sports. Like our sport doesn't actually do a huge amount of that. Our sport does a lot of you are in a hub for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we do that to a pretty decent level. I'm not even going to say to a great level. We literally didn't have a live audience this week in Americas, so obviously there are still problems with
And
that.
the audio didn't feel that different until after Game of the Original Music. I'm just saying, again, like utilize the mixing guys. But yeah, you know, it's like telling scientists, please go to Neptune. I love Neptune. I want to explore Neptune. It'd be great if we could. But
No, but don't you think that'll
the
get better though
possibilities-
with the new format? Like maybe not this next year, but like in a couple
Like we
of
make
years
it to
time.
Jupiter instead?
In a couple of years time, when we get used to moving around, shouldn't it
Don't know.
all?
Years?
Depends who's doing it. It could be Riot in-house. They could contract it out to different TOs. Like I think that Blast is doing quite a lot of stuff in EMEA at the moment. You know, they might run it through a range of different people. So who the hell knows?
Give me a camera. I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
give me a camera and a mic.
Get the
and
iShow
that's it.
speed production staff onto
Yeah.
it. We'll do one underwater as a Pearl tie-in.
You kind of dress what I assume a cameraman would look like right now. Kind of a backwards
Me?
cap. Yeah.
Yeah, backwards hat,
Yeah.
glasses, camo shirt to blend in.
Yeah.
Shyo is the underwater cameraman currently. All right, well,
Crazy.
if you want to look like a cameraman, like the world's most stylish cameraman, if you want to find some incredible tees, then go to Into the AM, and they have what a sale they have for you today. Into the AM has a Memorial Day sale from May 15th to the 31st, so happening right now with everything up to 70% off.
70%?
Not even 70%. Up to 70% if you just went onto their website as is. But if you click the link in the description, you can receive an additional 10% off on top of the sale discounts. On top!
On
But
top,
you have
that's
to-
even better than 80.
But you have to use the link in the description or you won't get the additional 10% off. It's not like a code. You actually have to use the link. So go scroll down to the description. Stop clicking on the screen. Stop clicking on the screen underneath Shyo. It doesn't work like
Ow,
that.
ow,
Scroll,
ow.
scroll down to the description. Click the link and you can get an additional 10% off on top of the Memorial Day sale. So Into the AM ships to many countries worldwide for free. So be sure to stock up your summer wardrobe during this sale. And you could look as stylish as an underwater cameraman.
Yeah.
I don't know that they actually sell waterproof clothing. I'm not sure about that one, but they'll certainly sell
We should
stuff that
go check
has
it out.
graphic tees that look like you're underwater. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
It was 11:59 p.m. for me the other day, and then suddenly after 1 minute, I was into the AM. I felt more stylish. I felt better with my clothes. Dude, honestly, buy the product. It's nice. And the math is mathing, guys. 70% off. Add 10 to that. Seems like you're saving even more. Honestly, that seems like a steal. And stealing, when you can do it ethically, it's pretty good. So get that shit up.
Right, time to get away from that sponsor read before it's the last one we ever do. All right. Okay.
I like
let's
it.
get into
It was 11:59 for me the other day. As if it isn't at some point every day.
But that day specifically, he got into the AM.
Josh, I'm trying to switch the topic, but my hands are still hot. I have another take.
You have another take. Go for it.
I have a hot head take. Aspas! Get off Jett! Get off Duelist! Get on Sentinel! That's my take.
Oh, that's
Boom.
a hot one.
Auto
that's
chamber.
a hot one.
Auto chamber up.
Okay, I will accept
I had a
chamber.
20-minute rant about this.
I will
I had a
accept
20-minute rant about this. And the two
20-minute
were,
rant, did you just say?
Yes. Yeah, it was a 20-minute tangent rant on stream after the
Oh, I thought you were
MIBR
about to
game. I
do
was
it.
VOD reviewing as well. No, I'm not going on. We don't have time for
thought you
that.
were gonna be
I woke up
silent for 20
late for the episode. No, the two things are either get him on chamber because he loves this slow style of play, loves anchoring, will save, totally fine. No one's gonna bat an eye. Or MIBR, fraud. Get on a page of playing with Aspas as this like Jett opera that's slower. Like use his op to get the team on sight lines like in a in mid attack side, or defensively just keep him anchored on one of the sides and focus on that side more. Full retake the other side so the team knows to be on the same page. We're not utilizing the best player, and the reason this player is on the team, he made the team, by the way. We're not utilizing his goals and the way he wants to play. It's clashing with everyone else. Get him off the roll because he's not playing it properly, or use his weird style of play that I don't even disagree with. It's just different to do something no team has ever done in the way you play the game. Gotta do something, man, because day after day, week after week, especially that Ascent game they just recently played, oh my dear God, the fucking gap between him and his style and the team is the Grand Canyon, Colorado, bro. The Chainsmokers have made songs about this guy, like back in Boulder. It's horrible, bro. Please. What do you think? Chamber, or do we cook up something cool?
I think the Chamber...
don't like the Senti take.
I think the Chamber is reasonable.
And I don't like his gameplay, man.
You go first.
I don't like the Senti take because I think a lot of Sentis in this meta have to take some level of an aggressive timing. You can't just sit like a... You can't sit and let the game come to you on the attack side. I think if you think about the best, most impactful Sentinel players, they are the ones with a bit of a killer instinct and like a great understanding of offensive lurk timings. I mean, it's not that I don't believe aspas could do that. It's that that's so different to the way that he currently plays at all. He doesn't try to take lurk timings on the attack side. Why would he? He's playing like primary duelist for the team. It's just not a skill that he'll have particularly been working on.
But he does half the time. Half the time he's opting on one side of the map with the rest of the team not having an entry on the other on attack.
But he doesn't walk in to take a lurk timing.
I know, but if you give him a fucking magical device with in a card that he can put down and TP back to, maybe he'll take the lurk timing. Maybe with the option he will. On Jett,
yeah, maybe on Chamber, yes. But I'm thinking about like if you want him to play Senti at the moment, he's playing Vice or he's playing Viper on some of these maps. I do not think he would be good on the attack side playing those characters. I could see him, however, doing the Demon One playing Smokes. I think actually there could be a world where he plays the more like static smoke characters, like the Astra, like the Brim, like that kind of stuff. Maybe not the Omen. He wouldn't play like a Crackhead Omen kind of thing. But also, I don't like the take a general because he's got more to give. The team is dysfunctional, but he has so much more to give.
No,
he's got more to give on Duelist.
He had 5 weeks in the group stage. Take one of them away because the team trolled. And he had playoffs to play with as well. Double time, by the way. They lost once. They could have made a change. And again, they just didn't. I mean, how much more time?
This is one of the most unusual metas that we have. This double do you remember Toronto? Bro is stuck in Toronto. This double duelist meta is one of the most unusual metas that we have. If it goes back to a solo duelist meta, all right, maybe Zekina would be in a weird spot on the team. He absolutely would. But if you're playing a solo duelist meta, I think aspas has shown that he is completely capable of playing even the harder entry in a solo duelist meta where his team like gathers for an exec and then execs with him and you have like the aggro smokes player that goes in with aspas. That style would still work. Mean, they've got more problems than just him.
I looked at the marriage files in Valorant. You know, the oldest one we had was DG Zin with his operator. Guy's inseparable. Such a good marriage. Actually, beneath the drawer, an ancient tablet actually was drawn, and you know, the Code of Hammurabi type of stuff was on it. And aspas was also one of the fucking rules and commandments. He must opt away from his team. He's been married longer. I'm not sure even in a solo meta if this guy's going to be able to give up the op in the way that he plays. Like, if that's the case, I like the take. I didn't even think of that. Maybe it is the meta, but I mean, it's been 8 weeks. It's been 8 weeks of this. It's been kickoff as well.
You saying that for some reason brought back flooding memories of the upper final of champs when they lost to EDG and they literally Lev lost.
I mean, that was tragic
because he was opping on attack side and just staring at mid the whole round. So it is in his DNA.
One day the stories will come out about that tournament though, TMV, and I mean that run was insane from Lev. Like, I could imagine similar things happening with this team now.
But I mean, perhaps
interpersonal problems that are just mad.
We'll see. But the thing for me about aspas is like, okay, he's had a rough stage. Let's just say it like that, right? He's had a rough stage. He's got 4 years of being. Okay, he had a rough Toronto as well. I'll give you that one. He's got 4 years or whatever else of being one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. I think MIBR, and they might be helped by all of this, right? They might be helped by the Neon nerf. They might be helped by the Initiator buffs. I'm with you, Josh, that the meta change could help them. And I agree, maybe he's opting too much, but I do think there are two ways of doing this. And we have to just look at it like this. This is aspas' team. Whether you like it or not, it is aspas' team. It is aspas' team, and there's a two-way street to this. He can speed up like you want, Shyo, or everyone else can slow the fuck down. And especially
I want them to slow down.
Well, Zekken's going to need to fucking slow the fuck down. The thing is, you're always going to need someone on an aspas team. I think of like Sadak when he was on Loud. On their Ascent, Sadak would, even though he's playing KO, he's sending it sometimes, through choke points.
I mean, Ardzine was a little sacrifice for aspas.
Yeah, like there has to be someone on the team, who is willing to send it, which Zekken will be pretty much, no matter what agent he's playing. I think it's possible that one of the problems they've had, though, is Zekken is also playing Neon. So when he does send it, he's fucking gone. And there is no catching him. Right? And aspas is not going to go. He's not going to catch him. So I think that with a meta change, maybe they're a high key winner of a Neon nerf. Because it's going to force them to play more at aspas' speed.
Dude, Tex was faster than aspas.
Oh, you're not putting him on fucking Senti. Apart from Chamber, okay. I will grant you... Maybe he could play Chamber and just op the whole time, and that would maybe work on some maps. But he's not fucking playing Cypher, learning fucking little setups.
Yeah, there's no way.
Inspire taught me this one, guys. So when I pop this cage, when they do this pathing, I pop this cage and I jump into it, and then I fucking check my cam quick. He's not fucking doing that, is he?
I think he'll retire before he learns Cypher.
Yeah.
My hands are cold. Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, move on.
All right, wonderful. Well then,
we're coming back to you in this next segment, buddy. You better get ready. Get ready.
Let's get ready for the fraud it. It's time for the fraud it. And then the number one person that we need to do the fraud it of is Shyo Al Gaib. Because, was it last week? I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were promised the golden path of Valorant. You had laid out the perfect path for humanity to take. And everything was going to be right with the world if only the matches went the way that Shyo Al Gaib predicted. How many did you get right of that entire bracket that you predicted?
Was it 0? It could have been 0. But that's the thing. If on a true or false test, you get everything wrong, like, is it not just you getting 100%? Also, you guys are asking a genie for a fourth wish. It don't work that way. I have the caveat of these guys are trying to milk me for these creds.
Let's go. Okay. Enough of the excuses. What about the genie's first wish? That didn't come true either. Vitality first seed?
By a round. Okay, and here's the other thing, right? When the genie first appeared, the genie is not real. Fuck the genie. This guy's stupid. Into now, the cope is, but you weren't all the way right. It wasn't a first seed. Look at all of you. Look at all of you in the comments too. Anytime I come up now, but it wasn't first seed, you weren't even willing to believe. I opened up your hearts to Vitality, to the B. I brought you into the hive. The excuses change. You've been changed. That was my goal. You have been changed. You do believe. Look how close the series was. Should they have won? Yes. You know what happened? Benji Fishy put in a USB into his computer in that Haven round on B site. He put in a USB that gave him invulnerability. 36 HP. Land a bullet in a 2v1. They would have won the map.
They should have won the game.
I still think about it. It was such a good game. I'm hyped for them. GE, by the way, still came third. 100 Thieves are about to come third.
I mean,
it's going to be great.
If you get that one, if you get 100 Thieves coming third, I'm willing to grant you like assistant to the genie.
Yeah, low key.
Why can't I already get it though? I was right about global. Vitality, got second?
No, I mean, that is impressive. That is incredibly
My Eternal Fire
impressive.
Missed, but who would have thought of that? Foot making it. Maybe
someone had it.
But it's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Upset week, man. I was here. We were all here.
I don't suppose any of you wrote down, because we did predict 3 teams from each region that were going to make it. Did you write that down, TMV? We should probably revisit it next week, though, to be honest, in the fraud it, because we don't actually know America's yet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But
we know 2 out of 3 of America's, so we could basically do it now, if you had it.
Yeah, I think I do. Hold on. Phil.
He's going through his cabinet.
What?
The marriage licenses.
I've got a massive,
Wait, you write it physically down on paper?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's crazy.
I did the same thing. I have 2 journals.
We're in the digital age now.
But isn't it like when you type digitally, it doesn't actually get to your brain as much as like...
No, you are right. They've done studies that writing it down pen and paper is more likely to stay in your brain than typing it. But
that's what when I'm typing, I'm also moving a pen squiggly wiggly like on the right, so my brain thinks that I'm actually writing things down. A very good tech.
I can't find it. We'll do it next week.
Mind.
We'll do it.
We'll do it next week.
We can do it next week.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do it live.
TMV, the other fraudit that you wanted to do was of Leviathan.
Yeah.
And I saw that you posted the Lev conspiracy on your YouTube today as well.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted some of your guys' takes on this. Shio, you were there for this as well in that FURIA game. We were watching it together when they were playing FURIA on Split, and FURIA were doing this weird, like they weren't putting down the Vice Wall straight away, and then they were waiting and then putting down the Vice Wall and then putting down Thorns. And I was like, holy fuck, do they know what? It's like they've downloaded exactly what Lev are doing. They must know exactly. And so I went through after that to just go and see. They've played 3 games on Split now. They played against both MIBR and FURIA, and they played against G2 in week 2. So 2 playoff games and in week 2. And they've won all 3 games. And the thing is, they've played 12 attack rounds in all of those 3 games, started on the attack side. So they played 36 rounds of attack, 24 out of 36 rounds. So 2/3 of their rounds are the exact same B default. Okay, sometimes the Omen is watching mid, but there's always 4 people over towards B. Every so often the Omen will passively watch towards mid. But other than that, 4 people in B main. King is always playing the same angle on A. Like, no joke, he is all the way back, like towards spawn, on the left-hand side of that wall, playing the safe angle. He is there every round. Every round. And you can see that if you go and watch, for instance, round 4 of MIBR Lev, MIBR put 2 people up on A. Like, they put both aspas and Zekken, and they're behind a Viper wall. And think of all the different positions that Viper could be on A, right? He could be behind the box, he could be on the right-hand side, he could be on the left-hand side, he could be in towards the ropes, he could be back where spawn, where he is. Both of aspas and Zekken are just aiming like this. They are not fucking concerned about anything. They wait for the Viper wall to go down. King somehow gets 1 still, and doesn't get the others. But it is so clear that teams know what they're doing. The thing is, when they do this B default, they're winning 71% of the rounds. So even though these teams know exactly what they're doing, they're still winning. They ended B out of those 24 rounds 19 times. The round follows the same pattern all the fucking time, by the way. Starts in B. They bait out any Vice util if it's there. They come back to mid. The Omen passively now watches B. King's just watching A the whole time. They come into mid, create a bit of fake pressure. If they get a fight and if they get a kill, they then might go mid. Otherwise, they group back up, go back to B. King comes into mid. It is the same fucking round over and over and over again. I have never seen anything like this, apart from maybe other King-led, Leviathan, owner-led teams, perhaps. And the thing is, in the rounds where they don't do it, it's also obvious when they are not going to do it as well. Because of those 12 rounds that they didn't, 8 of those rounds were either when they're on an eco or directly after a timeout. So you can literally, and by the way, after those rounds are always just fast A hits or fast hits through mid. There's no difference there either. It's always the same thing there. So this team, they're still winning these games. Fuck knows how. But out of 36 rounds, basically there is a 10% chance that Lev do something surprising. At 90% of their rounds, you should have a decent idea of what they're about to do.
Yeah. I remember back when we were playing Premier pretty heavily. I was with a couple of Plat Chat people in Americas. I went and looked at the Leviathan team in 2024 that King was calling for, because they were the most structured team where you could just copy their defaults and you knew exactly what they wanted to do, and the timings were super predictable for you to just steal and run in your own Premier games. I mean, obviously, you're framing it from an anti-stratton point of view, which is more applicable to the games, but like, he does this. I don't know exactly why, but but King specifically calls like this, and this was without owner coaching as well. So I'm more inclined to think that it is King rather than owner, but who knows? Maybe the duo of them, because King used to be coached by owner a long time ago, and that's where he kind of built up his chops as an IGL. But they're so rhythmic with it. Back in that meta, it used to be recon and stun, because they were playing Breach Silver on Haven. Recon stun down A long. You peek over towards A long. Make sure that you have that control. Go back over towards B. Pop B exactly on the 1 minute timing as soon as your recon and stun come back up. Like, it's just this kind of rhythm to the game that he always seems to have. Yeah. What confuses me is why teams are losing to it so heavily. Because
if I was
in the FURIA game, they weren't stacking B, even though they knew it was coming B.
Yeah, exactly. I think they perhaps thought. The thing is, there's so many rounds where you can tell, like, the anti-strat it works, right? Like, they have the right plan, and Lev, like, either out-aim it, or there might be, you can maybe remember this round. It's the one where aspas instantly walks down mid. He instantly walks down mid into sewer, and he is waiting for King. Like, if you watch him, he's just waiting for King to come the whole time. But then King is just a little bit slower than he normally is. And so then he turns around, and they're there in mid at the minute mark, as they always are. So he gets a free kill, and then he ults, and then King has come back.
But
it was like tragic because he was just waiting there, and if he kills King, the round is just over. But yeah, there's just a lot of situations like that where, Lev either out-aim it or are just able to, or teams maybe haven't, like, they've done the first part of the prep, but then, like, as it's actually playing out, like, something goes wrong, and then Lev are able to, kind of get out of it. But it is crazy that they're doing the same strat, and it's like, sometimes I think it's interesting when you look at something like this, to me, because this is an obvious example. Sometimes, I or many people watching will, like, critique, a map veto or something, right? But you assume that, like, when you get weird map vetoes or something like that, you might say, why did MIBR pick up, Split against Lev when they haven't lost Split? You'd be like, oh, they beat G2 and FURIA on Split, so they must be good at Split, so why would you pick it? Well, you pick it for things like this, right? Because as the coach, you're like, well, I know exactly what they're going to do every single fucking round, so why would we not pick it? Well, and then you lose anyway.
Well, the FURIA anti was so good. Like, I think FURIA handled it in the best way. MIBR are a bit more fraudulent because it's like, you figure out they're doing the same thing. You send the aspas round once, you never do anything again after it fails. I wish they just tried to do more down mid. But for FURIA, it's like, that wall take back game plan was really fucking with Lev. It was putting them back on, like, the last 30 seconds of the round sometimes because of all the delay. Dude, if you look at that game, though, nerf was on those sites over and over again. Had a 1 and like 12 half.
He went. That was the 1 and 18 game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the 1 and 18 game.
That probably did lose them the game.
It's literally not even like Lev out aiming. It's just FURIA not being able to aim. Yeah. Like, dude, they had 3 or 4 man setups on B half the time, FURIA, because they know where the round was ending. Nerv is either having or just dropped down to boxes, getting fucking B hopped into or Leviathan into, or sometimes half the time whiffing insanely, man. Because I think it was Artscene was the first one to contact a lot of the time. Like, this guy just could not hit a shot. So that was.
But they play G2 next, and if they play Split, I mean, they only barely beat G2 the first time. That was a bit fraudulent anyway. But I mean, I like this is I think a reason why Lev, like, they're only gonna go so far. They can only do so much because eventually they're going to run into a better team who's going to out aim them. They can't out aim or get lucky maybe in some rounds or whatever with timings, and they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
fraud it.
Next fraud it. The South American teams in general, MIBR, and I mean you've already talked about Lev, but MIBR and KRÜ are the teams that did worse.
Yeah,
I mean they're gone.
I mean, add FURIA in that if you want as well. But.
Sure.
Well, quickly on MIBR, because we already talked about like the aspas situation a little bit. I'm just gonna say this team no longer a super team for me. No longer super team expectations. I saw that was being said as they were losing. I'm done with that rhetoric. This is now a team that just needs to learn how to play the game together. Needs to get on a page. Brother, they're not even on the fucking title of the book. Let's get on a page. Let's see what's up. That's my new. What the hell is up with MIBR? It's a bunch of players past their primes. I'll just say it. Past their primes. Learning how to play the game again. Yep, past their primes, man. I'm sorry. Bunch of players past their primes.
I mean, to be fair, is it that unreasonable to say aspas might be past his absolute peak? I don't think that's unreasonable, to be fair.
I'm not saying they can't get back there or surpass it. I mean, most movies...
No, you are literally saying they can't surpass it, because if they're past their prime, then that means that they won't get back. If their prime is still in the future, then they can't be past their prime.
No, their prime's in the past. You can get a second prime and even Optimus Prime. You could have like a crazy amount of primes coming in. Like, there's many primes, but their first prime is gone. There's Primi as well on Full Sense, but yeah, I mean, they're past their prime.
Right. Okay.
I'm not saying they can't hit another stride or get back to another. People can have two. Have you had two primes? You've had two primes. We've all had two primes with it. I don't know. Ages now.
I don't know.
I've had two
which
primes,
one
I'd
my
say.
prime was.
This guy's had no prime show. That's the problem.
Yeah, no primes.
We're talking to
No
a
But his
no
primes.
prime is
prime
coming.
guy.
His prime is coming. But
Okay.
they gotta get on their Optimus shit. I'm gonna be honest. Something needs to transform and change. Like there's just no way.
Well, we'll
There's
get to
just
that in the
way.
next segment.
KRÜ, FURIA, MIBR. The power of the South American organizations was vastly overstated by the sound of things.
I mean,
By
KRÜ.
the Council of the Jedi over here, by the way, we were the one heralding that these guys are.
Yeah,
I eat it on stream every
well,
day.
this is the thing. I was getting roasted. I was getting roasted for us putting. I was getting roasted for us putting KRÜ number one when we.
But they were.
It was everyone. It was everyone. It was
Nah,
literally
but I
everyone.
put KRÜ second. This was my code to my chat.
Oh my God.
I wasn't stupid
This
enough to put
guy.
KRÜ first. I put Paper X first. You know, like a small
and you know
person.
what? Most of us did have paper eggs either first or second, and so that's reasonable. They survived, but man, KRÜ did not. KRÜ catfished us. I think Sliggy. Yeah, that's what Sliggy's take was on Plaid Chat, is that we got catfished. But I don't know. You were talking about silence TMV. The stat is nuts. He hasn't been positive since week 2.
Yeah, so silence.
Jesus.
Yeah, he hasn't been positive since week 2, and within that has had multiple games of being negative double digits, including I think both playoff games. Yeah, so that's rough. Also in both playoff games, Dante, who we were lauding as one of the best neons, on an unnerved neon, also going double digit negative.
And
in
also,
both playoff
but
games
also
as well.
playing badly too.
Yeah.
Like just running in without doing the diligence of clearing areas, like the pathing, not being able to cross people up in the same way that you was earlier on. I don't know. I was thinking about Dante and Spike and how impressed I was at the start of the stage and thinking, well, did people adapt to them? Did people get better at avoiding it? I think people stopped holding anchor positions that they knew would get completely overwhelmed. That's one of the things that people adjusted. But also I think they got worse too. I think they lost some of the coordination that they had with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Some of that honeymoon phase perfect flow that they had at the beginning of the stage disappeared.
Well, it was also a lot of other teams not understanding what they wanted to do in the meta. These guys had a very clear focus. But then the thing is, just like with Leviathan, I think for KRÜ as well, so one note, man. And where they needed some adaptation. You remember that bind against 100 Thieves? These guys are playing scared. There was no identity within their own actual gameplay. They just have really good game plans. But then again, you look at Lotus, the games start to get closer every single time they play it over and over again because it's the same game plan. It's not really changing. The one player, by the way, these games, 13-7, 13-4, could have been 13-0s, 13-3s, if it wasn't for MW Zera. I feel like this guy in the last 2 games, and a little bit maybe towards the end of the group stage, really leveled up to win 1v3 clutches, keep these guys inside games where they have no business being in there. If it wasn't for MW, this team would look so much worse off than they actually are. He has actually been playing so much better than what was the start of the season. But in comms as well, I don't understand what they're saying a lot of the times. MW feels like he's usually silent, really locked in. Everyone else might be smiling and joking with each other. This guy's single mom doing 2 jobs, trying to save the team, save these rounds. While everyone else is kind of running around.
Are you currently attempting to do analysis of the Spanish team's communications when not speaking? Well, actually, they're Portuguese.
They're speaking Portuguese, yeah.
But you're attempting to do analysis of the Portuguese comms when you don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah, but I can see when their mouths open and shut. Is MW Zero a ventriloquist? I'm doing analysis on how much people talk, not what they're actually saying. Unless this guy's puppeteering people like crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, he seems a bit more locked in, not as jovial half the time. He doesn't, smile as much as the rest of the crew from what I see. But yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just saying. Sorry.
I just wanted to clarify.
I'll go back under the staircase, sir.
No, I just wanted to clarify that you were role playing as a polyglot.
To you, a coin for your thoughts.
I wanted to do a little bit of a fraud on Frost. Let's start some drama. He just made it to
podcast drama.
Exactly. He just made it to a Masters. Fantastic accomplishment. But in the match that had his team playing against his former team, Global versus Full Sense, I was thinking during that game, haven't Full Sense just got a lot better now that they can focus on one core identity of just having Primi be their main entry player, only playing the same compositions across basically all of their maps. Copying Paper Rex is what's actually done it for them, is just stealing the comps, not even bothering with the neon, and just playing that. And then you watch Global on the other side, and it's like every match is an uphill battle for them, playing with the training weights on, of playing fucking, oh yes, we must suddenly copy the triple sentinel composition with 1 week's practice. Oh yeah, quickly guys, download a completely different way of playing the game. Deadlock, where we can't look at any other team. We have to invent it all ourselves. We have to, like, I feel like the way that Frost coaches is like playing with training weights, honestly. It's crazy.
I think I was talking about this in relation to GE, but also some other teams, of like teams that are player led versus teams that are coach led. And there's not necessarily like a correct way to do it. And it's like a spectrum, you know, like some teams are heavy player led, some are, you know, more heavy coach led. But obviously whenever Frost gets there, you know, he wants, you know, his vision, his ideas, you know, he wants to have a big impact in terms of what, like, you know, is going on in every aspect of the game, if I had to guess. And so I feel like when you do have that heavy coach, you know, kind of led team, when the coach is right and the players are comfortable, it goes really right? Like it can go really well. If the coach ever gets it wrong though, you're fucked. You're just absolutely fucked. If the coach doesn't have the right like ideas, or they don't work, or it doesn't work for those particular players, like then you just get absolutely fucked. Now, when I was doing my coaching masters, like this was a big thing about like your coaching philosophy and like, you know, how much should it be your ideas versus what is just suitable to the players, you know, like all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of like debates that we had about that kind of thing. I generally tend to fall on the side of like your players are the ones that matter. Just do whatever they're most comfortable with and try and put them in the best spot they can be. Is how I think about things, but you know, it's not necessarily always right. But I think there are other teams as well. Like I think another good example is DRX or KRX. Like when Termi has a good read and a good idea, they're good.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't, you know, or he's fucking flipping all the players to try and find something that works for him, right? And like, oh fuck, I need a chamber player right now. Get in this guy from the fucking academy. You fucking go in there. You're gone to fucking Mars. You know, he's trying to do all this to make it fit his vision or whatever. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? And then they're not very good when it doesn't work. And I do think that's just where you, like, if you're gonna hire Frost as a coach, I think he's gonna raise your floor. Right, like he's gonna make you overall, maybe not in individual games, but as a whole, he's gonna make your team competitive, right? But I think when you're talking about like going like deep in tournaments or winning tournaments and stuff like that, maybe his vision, just for the type of like game Valorant is right now, like again, if there was agent bans or something in the game, you know, you'd love a coach like that who can, you know, really dive deep into like the theory of who you're gonna pick and, you know, all of this kind of stuff. But with the way Valorant is right now, I think it causes perhaps a couple issues.
I don't think Global would have made it without him.
No.
Yeah. How far are they going to be limited in being made with him?
Don't know. No idea. But it is interesting. It's really fun to see. It's something that we don't get to see very often, which is why I'm bringing it up with Frost, to see a team where you get a before and after of like, and also what's clean more than usual with the Talent one is that they don't now really have a new coach that I think is having that much impact. Like it's mostly, I think, just like KRÜ's. It feels very
I mean, it's definitely KRÜ's team.
Yeah. Which is very clean, because otherwise you would get a situation where it's like, you know, they hire a new coach.
Let's say they has a new vision. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's a completely new vision, and you can't necessarily compare like to like. Whereas I feel like in this situation you can to some degree. It's very interesting.
There's a really good what's it called? It's better to have Frost now too. Like it's a buff for them, because when you have to figure out a meta, like the players can just focus on playing their games and saying what they like. Frost can just create things for you, right? I think when things need to be upkept, that's where the coach could hinder, like with the ideas, like we've seen in the group stage a little bit. But now, where things need to be made, GE feel like, I mean, this is hometown for them, right? They should be more comfortable than a team like Full Sense, where like the player is both trying to play and lead the team. There's so much on the mental stack, right? Yeah, so that's cool.
Let's go into some keep or kick. let's decide if these teams need to make some roster changes for the next stage. First up, it's a coach. Perfect transition. Fnatic. They got rid of Milan. Lots of talk about this. Would you keep him? Would you kick him?
TMV?
Why you go to me first? I always think it's impossible to kind of know, to be honest, with for most coaches, unless you're in the team, it's kind of impossible to know. We got Kojo saying, he did extensive documentary-like interviews with everyone, get grilling them. Do you like Milan? Until they said no, and then he got rid of him. Look, I don't know. The thing is, Fnatic have underperformed. I know that. I know that Fnatic have not reached their goals. You might give them some cope. You might say to Milan, hey, fair enough, you were playing with a sub for playoffs, right? And it was still very close against a team who ended up winning the EMEA. So you might give them a little bit of cope for that reason, but I would argue, not making, you had 2 chances to make the first international as well, and you didn't manage to win either of those games. So, this whole year has been a failure for Fnatic. They should be trying to win trophies. Fuck making the Masters. That should be a given. They should be winning trophies. So, on that instance, you could just say, well, that's fair enough then. They Giga underperformed where they should be. Even playing with a sub, they still, you might say, underperformed. So, yeah, I think that's reasonable. But at the same time, you've played ranked with him, Josh, so he's carried you in games before. So maybe you feel a bit of a soft spot for him.
My take would be, who is there out there that's better? Because if you're going to make a roster move, and this applies to coaches or it applies to players too, there has to be somebody out there that's going to be an improvement. Otherwise, making a change, or at least lateral, they have to at least be as good. Because sometimes making a change to somebody who's as good is fine because it just shakes things up and forces you to look at your assumptions from a different point of view, or start building up your fundamentals again in a way that
I would just say, Josh, just quickly, I don't think that's fully true. This podcast might be a good example of it. Sometimes there's a toxic culture within a place, and it just needs to be removed, and then things get better.
Right. That's true. Do you think that Fnatic have a toxic culture?
No, I don't think that about Milan, or at least I don't believe that is the case with Milan. I know of some places, for instance, maybe this podcast, that might be a bit better off, but for the most part, I don't think it's applicable to this exact situation.
But I think that in this situation, when you're thinking about coaches, it might be a bit of what Shio was talking about taking the mental stack off Boaster even more. Because we know that Boaster has a lot of responsibility on this team. From discussing things with Mini and how he used to work with Boaster, Boaster's really involved in how he wants the team to play, what protocols he wants to be
They're a player-led team.
Yes, but I think I think it's more that Boaster is in partnership with the coach to run the team, and they come up with the idea and then it trickles down, more so than purely being player run. But it is more of a player run system, and I think part of the mental issue that Boaster's been very clear about the fact that he's having a lot of mental burden at the moment, and getting a coach who can relieve some of that might be really useful.
Or, and then this would be crazy, go the other way completely. Boaster for Split 2, surprise becomes the coach, and they bring in an IGL.
If there was IGLs growing on trees that were really good, I might even say that's a decent idea, but that's not going to happen, and there isn't IGLs.
Yeah,
but Boaster, I would be a very good coach, and I really hope he does become a coach after he retires.
It's a sad day when Boaster does retire, though.
Yeah,
it's a
100%.
bad day for Valorant when Boaster
very
retires,
bad,
because he is still capable of playing currently.
Yeah, he could do a cruise. Maybe he just needs that mental reset. Do a cruise. I'm retired.
Wrong time of the year to do a cruise.
I'm kicking you this time, Crashies.
Here's the thing, though, right? I think taking the mental stack off of Boaster isn't something Fnatic can realistically do. The guy operates with the mental stack.
I think that's
having him make.
I think he's not going to allow. I think he's just one of those personalities that's not going to allow himself not to be involved in those kind of things.
Yeah. Because like, what does he want to do? Get better at like what? And the whole meme is get better at shooting, which I feel like half the time he is okay at. It's just we always pinpoint the roughness because that also, the other 50%. But it's like he's involved in microing his players more than most other IGLs. He's involved in being the guy who has a strat book downloaded as he plays. I don't know what his gameplay looks like without that or what the approach is, but. Yeah, I mean, you have to operate without like one of your goats, Kron, at the start of the year, and I think Milan did a pretty good job at it. Unfortunately, like it didn't hit the mark coming in towards kickoff. You can 100% cope with what happened in these playoffs. They still played so well. The game against Vit was close. Like, the Heretics one as well. Like, it's unfortunate that they have to have so many changes over and over again. I'm one to say keep Milan. Like, that's my take. Is one more time, see what happens. At least see out the year. And then 2027 start anew. 2027 should be where you make the most changes for your team because the format's changing entirely as well. This guy knows your team. This guy understands, and when people make mistakes, they can easily come back stronger. Like, I feel like he needed one more shot, but it is what it is.
Okay, let's move on to some of the other teams. So this is less to do with specific players now, and more just should they make a change, or should they keep it the way that it is? Mates in EMEA.
Kick.
Gotta make changes. Something's gotta change.
Something
I think
really
it's
does
Bippo.
have to change, man. Yeah,
Bippo gotta go. He's a guy who specializes in playing with the Yoru. He's really good at playing in a team that has that double duelist combo, specifically with Yoru. He grew up with that in tier 2. It's gone now. I think Bippo's gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I also think it'll give you more maneuverability to adapt to whatever the meta changes, especially if we end up going back to solo duelist.
Veto buff is coming, by the way.
Veto buff is coming? Wow. The bandit buff is coming, by the way. Why is that even fucking needed? Anyways.
A lot of people have started playing with the bandit.
Yeah, it's like
I do want to talk about this next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
BBL.
Oof. Hold up, TMV. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, you go.
I'm inclined to say no change, but I think I'm inclined to say no change. I think that they had a bad read coming into this meta, like this specific one after Yoru got nerfed. But I think that they have the talent on the team that can adapt, especially because, if they could like steal, for example, a cracked player and like 1-for-1 trade Lovers Rock with, I don't know.
Comeback?
Not comeback, brother. I'm thinking like Sop. Yeah, or someone like that. But if you could pick up a different cracked duelist that was more suited for whatever the upcoming meta is, I wouldn't mind that change. But I don't think they need it in the same way. Like, I think they actually can still be a really good team, even with Larocque playing the more flex role for them.
Yeah. I'm not. They need to get an Eternal Fire's assistant coach just because he looked so much like Rose.
Yeah.
It's actually insane.
Keep it in the family.
It literally looks like Rose is coaching Eternal Fire.
Yeah.
And then we get
I'm
Shyo.
more inclined to
Get Shyo on Eternal Fire, yeah.
Yeah, get Shyo on Eternal Fire to fill in the assistant coaching slot because you look like Izzy, and then, we'll keep it going like that.
The chain goes on.
keep the chain going on. Yeah. Get TMV in a what's it called? Ed Sheeran music video.
Yeah, we get Minnie in here because he looks like TMV.
Yeah. Yeah. Get Josh in a 2XKO, make him Braum. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Or that guy from the Reform Pie.
No. Team Liquid.
Ooh. Man.
Mini Boo's about to have his neon nerfed.
He is about to have his neon nerfed. I don't know what I would change, but I feel like something does need to change. Like, I feel like... Then again, I don't... The problem with Liquid is, for most teams, I think their expectations are quite clear, but I don't even know what the expectation for Liquid should be. Because they just make Masters and bomb out the whole time. But
that's the org.
Well, I think that was an inflated expectation for.
But that's my point. Like, they've done it so many times that I want them to do better. But then when I look at their roster, it's like, well, do I realistically think that this roster is going to make top 4 or something?
But then that's what I'm asking you right now.
I don't know. I don't know because like the roster is good enough to go to champs and go out in the groups.
I'd be thinking about making a change for Purpo. I think. Like, if you got a really cracked initiator player onto this team,
Purpo I thought was all right. Like, if stage 1 was he?
Yeah, well, he was just playing a bunch of Sky, wasn't he? I mean, fucking hell. I mean, dude. I feel like there are some big opportunities for, like, okay, if you had a... I'm not even going to say re-ends. That's actually cheating.
Oh yeah, if you had the best Fade player in the world to like pick up, yeah, that would be pretty.
No, but
good.
if you had so if you had somebody that was a bit more like Cloud, let's say, ignore the fact that Cloud is IGLing, but like Cloud is not the world's most nutty initiator player, but I think Cloud would be an upgrade on this team over Purpo. Like that's the kind of level of player that I think I'd be looking to, that I think is reasonable to look for as well.
You just want to go away from Project Duelist because this team we've signed like what, basically 4 duelists and Nats, and like everyone's kind of, you know, slotting where they can. Wayne is one of the people who's like more so smoking and whatnot, but Purple is your change, not Camo, not Minibu. Like what if Minibu looks complete dog after these neon changes? Does he just swap over to what, like Jett? Is that what he played before?
Yeah, I think he just plays something else. I mean, by the way, Purple has better stats than Cloud does in this stage, so horrendous take from me. But I still think I would take that trade.
I think Purple's just been monumental to the team's identity and how they play like every round too. Purple Wayne usually
that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know if like again, it feels like a change does need to be made because they've underperformed in the playoffs now, and like weren't that convincing during the group stage. They were fine, but they were, I wouldn't say were lighting the world alight. So, but I don't know because I don't know what I want this team to even do.
Okay.
I think that you got to pick if you want Camo and Minibu on the team. I don't think both can stay. You need some form of specialist, and like you can put Purple.
Camo
or
was
Wayne
gonna
back
swap
on.
around. Camo was gonna swap around to playing like Smokes or something, or Smokes or Initiator or something at the beginning of this year when they thought it was a solo duelist meta.
True.
Bit weird.
Move on.
All right, MIBR.
Someone's got
Keep the whole
I'm
team.
saying keep.
Someone's got to be a
Keep
full
the
guy.
roster.
Sometimes you gotta have a full guy.
Keep, but let's adjust and play on Aspas time. Get in the right time zone. That's all it is. I want to see a nice, slow, whatever the fuck he wants to do MIBR. Like, yeah, he's had 4 years of excellent CMV. Let's cash that in. Let him be the Capitan. Let him decide how the teams run. In strategy as well.
I'd like to see them make a big change. I want to see them cut Tex and Mazzino.
A big change, by the way.
Do you want? Well,
And then he says,
would you want them to bring in an
fries.
IGL?
No. No.
You want to keep Verno IGL?
I want them to bring in some players who are like hungry rookie player kind of things that are going to inject some more vitality into this team.
What, Messi Doms?
Yeah. Guys, we need to make a plan. We need to do something.
It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
I mean, like the NRG change where they brought in Scuba and Brock, and obviously they did make an IGL change and a coaching change as well. But like, I think you could go the one player route and just make them the scapegoat. But I think Mazzino and Tex are both really struggling on this team, and obviously it's Aspas' team, so you're never changing that aspect. But I think the reality of like slowing the entire fucking game down to a crawl, I'm snoozing thinking about it, even though it might actually be a change that works. Get me some rookies who want to actually play the game.
True.
They can be Brazilian rookies as well, or like Latam rookies as well, if Aspas has got like some people that he's got an eye on.
I mean, it'd be cool if like Loud blows up and they
You
just
say
take
about
Erdo.
Aspas has got his eye on him, like he's fucking scouting tier 2.
Well,
Watching
he
every
was
fucking VOD under the sun.
Aspas is more involved.
The old
than both
MIBR
shirts.
team.
Flying out to Brazil to watch them in real life, like they're just
the
sitting
old
in the back of the
MIBR team.
audience like this.
Where they picked up
on.
Cortesia and Shenom, he was talking with Sassy, and Sassy was the one who like recommended a bunch
Agent
of people
Sassy?
to Aspas. Yeah. So Sassy's the scout. Sassy's the old bald man at the back with the
Yeah,
big
with the
cap
cat on.
This is the other thing people were saying is, what if Saucy unretires and joins the team?
Cinema.
on. Yes, a rookie player, great, fantastic.
I mean,
Let's get him in
cinema.
there.
What if he was
I'm just saying,
IGLing
we've got
as well?
it's
Three
not one-
Sova players on one team. Who's going to play Sova on Ascent? Verno, Sassy, or Zekken?
Sassy.
Give it to Zekken. Saucy's just you give it to Saucy.
Sassy's
All right.
playing sober.
All right.
Yeah.
He's played on your team.
Yeah.
What,
He's a great
well,
player.
how was your scouting report? You're not a fan.
No, he's a great player. He's just he's
old.
he's old in the tooth. Furia. What about Furia? Are they going to make a change? Should they make a change?
Oh man, that's tough.
I think nerf is getting dropped for another tier 2 player.
That would be harsh, wouldn't it? I feel like nerf has been good up until these playoffs where he dropped an absolute stinker against Leviathan. Was he even that bad in the other game against NRG?
I thought he was alright.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. Well, he was okay. I would like to see. At the moment, it seems like they're trying to make Alim the more flex player and Koala Noob the main duelist. I want them to go the other way around with that. I think Koala Noob's got a way better chance of being a flex player than Alim does.
And
if Alim isn't good enough to be able to play the primary duelist, then get a different primary duelist. But that guy was supposed to be your main duelist player.
Yeah, I've really struggled with Furia in their game. Like, they literally, the coach I think said before they played Haven, like, oh, we've swapped the rolls around so that we can get Koala opping more. They had like the op in like one round. So I was like, well, what? Like, if he's playing Jett and your whole thing is like he's playing Jett so he can op more because that's where we think we're going to be better. Well, then do the thing where you can always buy an op round 3. Like, get an op. Like, buy a fucking op no matter what happens. Just fucking feed him an op every single fucking round if that's the whole point of you doing it.
He had 4 op kills in the whole map.
Yeah. It's like, well, you changed all your roles around for that. The thing is, Alim's Harbor, I thought was not the worst I've ever, apparently the Duelist players are the best Harbor players. They're better than some of the Smokes players at playing Harbor for whatever reason. But it's a tough one. Again, to me, they're in a similar situation to Liquid. Like, what is the expectation for Furia? Like, qualify the champs?
They improved their expectations. Yeah, qualify the champs.
Is that their expectations? Like, can they do this with their current roster? I think they could do it with their current roster.
It's possible.
So it's not unreasonable to keep them. But
without Neon, I don't think they can. Like, something drastic either has to change for the players. But
so I was saying, make a change.
Make a change.
All right. KRÜ.
Keep it the same. Don't kick. But
I mean, like you just said about without Neon, they can't do it. I mean, isn't this the team that without Neon?
This is the most Neon team.
They definitely can't do it.
Make a change. Make a change. Make a change.
I mean, Dante looked terrible last year, and then he's regressed to that form over the course of this one stage, where he looked like, I thought we were about to see a completely different Dante from the first couple of weeks. But I feel like he's done a Khalil to me. Do you remember Khalil at the beginning?
You fucking love bringing up Khalil and like 2 weeks the Furia were fucking destroyed.
Exactly.
To keep his contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Me and Frost bringing up those 2 weeks where the Furia were good at the beginning of 2023. But it's the same again, bro. Like, Silence and Dante both just looked way better than their average and gave us a great first impression that didn't last. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to make a change for at least one of them, depending on what they think. Like, do they think that Dante can actually play a bunch of other stuff?
Isn't it tough though?
Last year he didn't.
I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into the Dryad Al-Gaib narratives here, but wasn't she like, oh, the team structure is really good right now as well because you've got like 2 senior players, mentoring the younger players, and then Sadek's just IGLing. Wouldn't that kind of potentially mess all that up? But then again, maybe the older player falls out with their younger player and just goes, well, yeah, they're shit. Get rid of them. Because the 2 younger players underperforming.
It was less that was attached to Silence, right?
Yeah.
And then MW was attached to Dante.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Do they get the choice to cut them?
Yeah.
What's the next team?
So, next team is C9. So C9 have already made changes, but one of them is unannounced because, like... every player just had a final swan song game and then left or was cut. Yeah. So, what even was the order of things? Penny left first, and then Vic, and then Zeppa.
Yep.
So Penny left, they got Jack.
Vic left.
Vic left, they get Note.
They get Note.
And then Zeppa left, they get...
Question mark?
Is it the D1 guy who's leaving? I was aware of this, but again,
because Diamond 1 player.
Sorry, Division 1. There's a Division 1 is a team that also lost a player, and they were playing so well. I'm not sure if they picked up a D1 player or someone else, but I would know if I didn't spawn inside this webcam room on my first minute of wake up. Like I would know. My brain would remember. But we'll get back to it.
I don't think it's been announced, though.
Yeah, it's not announced. It's a rumor thing. I think Kick Emmy. If we're kicking Milan from Fnatic, how is Emmy on C9? It doesn't make sense. I get it. He works with the American Smiths. I get it. He's loved. I love him too. But from a professional standpoint of analysis, how is this allowed? How is this even possible? Who is doing the documentative review that Koa was doing for Fnatic, but for C9? There's one constant through every single iteration of C9, and that's the coach. Why is the coach protected? Why is this guy getting the medic on him every night of Mafia? Why can't why can't he get taken out?
Well, I think this team at the beginning of the year was like, it was a band of I mean, friends is a very Nepo way of saying it, but it kind of was that. Like, Imi and Zelsis wanted to work together. Zelsis wanted to work with, Oxy. Yeah. They really wanted, like, it was a group of people who wanted to work together because they knew that they would have good, like, internal relationships with each other. And then that's fallen to pieces. No, it's fallen to pieces. It was all built on
the deadline for the group project.
It was a house built on the sand.
Yeah, the deadline for the group project ended in February. Get a new group. How is the group still in the same group chat? Did you work on page 7? Brother, the project was presented and ended. We're in Check's Watch London now, and the identity's kind of the same. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, Sen made their changes. Fnatic is making changes. Loud got their changes made eventually with the IGL coming in. Everybody's been switching people up everywhere else, but I feel like C9, like, something more drastic has to happen. Maybe these players are the key.
This is drastic.
This is drastic. You're right. I'm
not saying that cutting Imi would necessarily be bad. Like, if you had a good replacement for Imi too, then it might be like, now might be the right time to clean house because you're already getting a bunch of drastic player changes. But the changes are already going to be big. Like, this team is
like at this point as well, though. Like,
it's just a caller and a star player.
Yeah, like at this point, what is it? You're just asking Zelsis and Oxy what they think, essentially.
Yeah.
Because, like, everyone else is gone. You're not going to ask, like, oh, you've been here for a week now, so you now get a voting power now you've been here for a week.
But I think that the pickups so far have been good too. It's just like they've done a rebuild that they probably should have done at the beginning of the year, right?
If this rebuild with this talent doesn't even show a speck of promise, we got to start having these conversations, man. Like, what is going on with C9 just tainting the waters every single time? Like, a prospect comes in and they don't do well. I hope they do well, though. So, next team.
All right, next team is RRQ.
You guys can talk about this one. I haven't been keeping up with RRQ too much.
Something's got to change, I think. Something's got to change.
Something plays for Paper X. You're thinking of Gem.
If they could bring in something, that would be good. But I think this team Giga underperformed. Like, for where
Giga
I do.
Well, I mean, I guess they kind of did.
But not even necessarily in the results, but just like how they played. The alarm bells were there from the very start, where they're barely scraping past Zeta division, and Jemkin is still going like plus whatever the fuck he was. Jemkin is still dominating, and you're scraping past Zeta. That should not be happening. Like, RRQ have to be better than that. Because RRQ, again, what's their expectation? Their expectation should be making champs. They were a good team last year. And the thing is, right now, like, you would say, obviously Paper X are ahead of them. You would assume that T1 are going to be. In terms of champs points, obviously, they're not going to make it in terms of champs points, right? So they have to finish in the top 2. They're going to need to beat Paper X. They're going to need to beat fucking T1. They're going to need to beat, Full Sense Global. Maybe DRX will be better when they, get their shit together as well. Possible that someone else rises up. Maybe Gen G, we'll talk about in a second, won't be so dog shit. It's possible that in Pacific, a lot of, Pacific might be pretty competitive again. And I think the RRQ, I would say, aren't going to meet their goal of making champs. So
the reason why I'm not as hardcore about RRQ making changes, because I think the biggest underperformer has been Monyet playing the Neon. And he doesn't have to play the Neon anymore. Jemkin should be playing the primary duelist. I think they should have been going like a few weeks back into Monyet trying to play Phoenix instead, and Jemkin playing Jett, and try to go down that route. But they were very committed to the Monyet Neon because it's something that he's played a long time before. He was pretty decent on it back in the day, but there has been no evidence this year that Monyet is a good Neon player. Like, none. So I think if you could just change that aspect, whether it means playing solo duelist Jemkin, if that style works for you, or making a roster change where Monye is the player that gets changed, I'm okay with that. But I think anything larger than that, I'm
talking you make a change. I think you're right. Like, this team has shown enough success in the past to where they clearly can do it, but I just think like something has stagnated, certainly in that stage. And yeah, maybe the comps were part of it, but like you say, that's not good. Like you're saying, oh, they had a bad meta read for their team. Well, that's bad. Don't do that.
Oh yeah,
you can change that. You don't have to do that.
Kick an RQ. Kick an RQ. Next team.
Nongshim Red Force.
Oh, we're gonna keep. We're not gonna kick. Let the meta shift. Let the meta shift. Yeah.
Sure.
I think you gotta keep.
Keep.
Okay.
Next.
All right. DRX. You know they're gonna kick anyway.
Well,
so who do you
keep? Just keep. Wait, hold on. Didn't Flashback say he's coming back?
But we don't know if that's as a player.
Flashback signed a contract GIF.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
It also, even if he is back, he's gone in another couple of months anyway.
Just keep whatever it is with this team. Just keep it for like a split. I just want to quantify what it looks like when they're kept. We've seen kick. I want to keep. Last team, Josh.
Gen G.
Damn.
They need changes, bro. They more than most need changes. That is desperate. But also, Gen G didn't even get to. By the end of the stage, Gen G didn't even have a proper team. They were moving things in and out constantly towards the end of the stage. And there wasn't even necessarily like a thread that worked best for them. I mean, Ash looked terrible when he was playing on the Astra, but I actually liked what he was doing on the Omen. Who's the Kite? The guy that they brought in from the academy? I mean, he was okay, but I don't think he looked good enough to keep. And then they ran Ash and Kite, and who was on the bench then? I can't even remember. Literally can't even remember who was on the bench when they played Ash and Kite. Genji rotated so many people. It was, dude, I can't even remember. Who am I missing? Who's normally on the squad?
Karen, Texture.
Zinx, bro.
Yeah.
Zinx, completely forgot about that guy. I mean, if I'm forgetting about him as we're doing a keep or kick segment, probably not worth keeping.
Yeah. Gen G.
Bro, how much is DH's buyout? How much is that buyout? How are all these Korean teams struggling? And no one like DRX, Gen G, make a call. I know that you're fucking enemies, but make a call.
Anybody that tries to negotiate with DH, all you can keep saying is I am DH, and like it doesn't go anywhere. You can't say yes or no, so it's a problem. But on the topic of Gen G, hijacking things for a second, I want to go to certified bangers right now. There are some on the docket. We've missed 3 or 2 really quickly that I want to talk about. The first one is the Pacific draw stage happened. I want you to tell me which group is more banging, or just get your reactions to these groups. The first group is Group Alpha, which I think is the biggest group of death of all time. Full Sense, Global, RRQ, Nongshim, Zeta, Gen G. That is a tough group and having a top 4.
It's a tough group on paper. You know my reactions to all these group stages. Sorry to rain on your parade here, Shio. Group stages don't fucking matter. Half those teams will be dog shit. You just don't know which half yet. But we said the same thing for the Pacific group stage coming into this stage 1 as well. Oh God, look at this group of death with Nongshim, Paper X. Well, half of them were fucking shit. And one of them went 4-1, by the way. Was actually fucking shit. Just took other people a while to realize it.
So then let me actually activate for you then Group Omega, which is T1 controlled the region party.
Stumps.
Because you said half of them are dog. These guys are full-bred wolf. We've got Viral, Secret, and DFM in the group. Yip yapping, pissing on fire hydrants.
Viral are gonna be good. They got Foxy 9.
Sure. KRX, T1, Paper X. Now, guaranteed these 3 make playoffs, pretty much. They could vape their whole way while playing with one hand and make it all the way to the top. Yep. The fact that T1 didn't get swapped, and what was it, Full Sense got the swappening, was crazy. It should have been GE and T1. GE might have had a nice ride all the way to the top. Now Global is in turmoil again. The Frost files must be researched because this guy, not in that way. Like he's just having trouble all the time. Like why does that happen? Is what I want to research. That's not bad.
We're creating a lot of beef with Frost.
I mean,
What do we
that
think
one's
about
out
this?
of pocket.
Is it crazy that Omega is that free? Should there be like addendums to like groups if they look a little bit too like imbalanced?
You have no idea who's.
People thought
gonna be
Eternal
good
Fire
or
were
who's
gonna
Oh
shit
yeah,
coming
we
into
have
the
no
stage.
idea how Omega's gonna go. Yeah.
No, I mean
100%.
we do have a very good idea about Omega, but you just don't have a clue about Alpha. Like there are gonna be some poo teams in Alpha. Like if Gen.G don't figure out their stuff, they're screwed. Like they need to be making roster changes right now, and instead they're playing in the Blood Money tournament. Like you need roster changes, brothers. Zeta Division also. They haven't been doing anything all year. I mean, Mini might be the most fraudulent coach in Valorant by the end of this squad. Like,
Well, he wasn't a coach. I gotta defend him. He wasn't
hopped
brought
on
in
a
as a
super
coach.
team with Fnatic, goes over to Paper Rex.
Oh, let me fucking bolster
First
my
time he
thing by
actually has-
joining Paper Rex.
Yeah, first time he actually has a challenge, and he can't do lickety.
No,
dip
he's not
with this
coaching.
team.
Pep
I
Guardiola
gotta
when he
protect
doesn't have
Vinny.
fucking
He's not
Messi
coaching.
or the most money in the world on his team.
He's not coaching. We will protect
Okay.
Vinny in this house.
Then
EMEA group
Nongshim and
draw
RRQ,
stage.
like
EMEA
EMEA.
group draw stage. Yeah. See,
Okay,
Group Alpha.
EMEA is pretty similar,
Yeah.
but
Vitality.
not to the same degree.
Foot, Mates, BBL, Navi, Pacific. Kind of a crazy
Yeah.
group. Kind of a crazy group in the business. of
Well,
Group A.
It's like a group of teams with potential. It's not that wild. Like to me, Group Omega is actually more wild because you have two teams that are on massively on the outside looking in. Giant X and Karmic Corp.
Yes.
But then the other teams are actually some of your most competitive teams in EMEA, which is Heretics, Eternal Fire, Fnatic, and Team Liquid. Assuming that Team Liquid perform a little bit better than they did this stage and keep up the we are trying to make international events. That is 4 teams that are really in the running.
Yeah.
so no
and
room for
4
slipping
usually
up.
make it to playoffs. So my question for you, Josh, is what is the bottom 2 in Alpha? And CMV, same
Bottom
question.
2 in Alpha. Okay, Pacific for sure.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then I would say whichever team doesn't. I think it's General Mates unless they make a significant roster change going forwards.
CMV?
But if they do change people or something, then it could be more open.
I would say it's probably. I mean, Josh always wants to believe in Navi, and
Yeah,
they
they're gonna
should
be
be all
good.
right. Pacific, yeah, Pacific definitely, and then probably one of the other 4 not named Foot. Could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Cool.
anyone.
Next certified banger coming up. G2 versus Lev. Now,
Not a banger.
this is
G2
not
2-0.
Neon nerfed. This is not Neon nerfed. This is Neon's activated. This is only Ascent in the business. What are we thinking about this one?
G2 stomp. Am I wrong?
I think.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but G2 have still yet to show. Is it? They haven't played Ascent at all, have they? And then there's another map that I don't think they've played. Is it?
In Perma Fracture, no? Or am I stupid?
Oh, is it Fracture? Yeah. Maybe that's the one that I'm thinking of. But there's 2 maps that G2 have not shown at all, and they only showed their Haven this week. Oh no, I'm thinking about a different team. Hold on. Yeah, they haven't played Ascent. They haven't played Fracture. If they can get onto one of those maps and
Well, they
Lev can
banned
win,
Fracture.
Fractures are Perma,
so
yeah.
then, if Lev are going over towards Ascent and they have something cooking there, I
mean-
can see it going 3. I just think that G2 have got a massive advantage.
Here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you the story. This is actually it. Don't even need to Al-Gaib this. I just see the document in front of me. It'll start off with split. G2 will solve the Lev B, the Lev B showdown. And Lev will get so heartbroken that this shit is not working. They finally lost split. That they just completely devolve into a nothing team on map 2. Big 2-0. Baby Bay drops 40. Everyone's happy. Cool.
Not above.
What is map 2?
What is map 2? Lev's pick. Even if it is Ascent, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like what have Lev been picking?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like G2, they beat Loud on Pearl 13-10. They then won 7 maps in a row without giving up 10 rounds. The one that they did was Lotus KRÜ, a team that is notorious for being extremely good at Lotus. They still win. They haven't lost a map since their loss against Lev in week 2. They haven't lost a map.
Yeah.
And only 2 of the maps even got to even got to double digits for the other team.
Yeah, it's pretty
It'll be
impressive.
Breeze. It'll be Breeze or
stomping.
Haven. This entire thing will be split. It'll be split Breeze Haven. That'll be the map. Vito.
And this, by the way, is why we were talking on Blackjack yesterday. Paper X were in a tier of their own, and I thought about it a bit afterwards. I think G2 are there with them now. I think that they've been impressive enough to where I would put them in that top tier.
Silly teams though.
Also, I thought it was fucking crazy. I say that Paper X would be 70-30 heretics, and I get fucking looked at like I've got 3 heads. Jesus, if Paper X played heretics 10 times, they would win 7 times. That's not an unreasonable take,
man. You're heavily.
It's not an unreasonable take.
No, you're heavily ignoring the Paper X troll
This is what
factor.
gets me. People, I'd say that, and then the same people who look at me like I'm crazy say, "Yeah, Paper X are in their own complete tier." Going into London, pick a fucking side. Are they good or are they not?
They're good, but they're also like they troll. They troll sometimes.
No, you know what? You're so
team.
valid for that. You're actually so valid for that. 70-30 is very reasonable. The problem is that we've set the absolute floor at 70-30. So that is the
But that's
most
not what the
one-sided.
absolute floor is.
No, I know. But because we've set that
Like
as
when
the floor,
Paper X play global, it's like a 90-10, and it literally is like a 90-10.
it literally is a 90-10. Yeah, no, you're right. We need to revisit Balor's Law, but
based.
that's a conversation for a different time.
Let's visit
NRG 100
NRG
Thieves.
versus 100 Thieves.
Yeah. That game in the lowers, I
That's
think
a
is
banger.
going to be NRG dismantling 100 Thieves,
You think?
personally. Yeah.
100%.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Chance?
I'm struggling. I think it's pretty similar to the upper bracket game, where it's like, could 100 Thieves win a map? Yep. I definitely think that they could.
They just got
Is it
unlucky
important
there.
that the
She
100
started
Thieves
in the lowers.
players... Yeah, like, is it really important that 100 Thieves play their A game with their, get large amounts of, like, fragging power and get the pistol round wins and, like, all of that stuff? Yeah, that's all super, super important. But fundamentally, I think that one of these teams is a lot better than the other. And I think G2 are better than Lev, and I think NRG are better than 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
They'll
I
get
mean, I
dismantled.
do
That's
agree. I did pick NRG to make it to London, so I'm not going to back down now. Now that they're almost there. And again,
But the thing is, like,
very good.
it's like dismantling a nuclear reactor. You're gonna expose the isotopes. You know what I'm saying? They'll get dismantled, but we'll discover something new from 100 Thieves. I think Map 2 Ascent could go crazy, or 100 Thieves picking Ascent and getting freaky with it against NRG could go wild. And
I think
riding
I think
momentum
100
into a
Thieves
map
are good
3.
enough to make this close, but I agree. I don't think they can win.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a base. I believe though. But I know that it's NRG sided. Yeah, anger though.
Yeah. I mean, it was NRG that I was thinking of in terms of being the team that have not shown... They also haven't shown Ascent, and they just showed Haven this week.
Yeah.
But
It
you
looks
don't
so good,
really want to
man.
go into their Haven. Yeah, their Haven looks
Yeah.
really nice. Their Lotus looks incredibly good as well. I mean, could you maybe go into their Fracture? I think you could try to go into their Fracture.
Yeah, but the Thieves'
the way they
fracture look the
Phoenix stuff.
best. Like,
I think it looks good enough to be able to win if they win pistols and snowball like they did against MIBR.
but against even a lost MIBR, they were like trolling a little bit, man. They had some freaky rounds. Like,
So did NRG. NRG have some freaky rounds too. Like that comp is not amazing from them. Like their execution on Fracture is not the cleanest. I think it's even possible that they could win on Pearl too.
Yeah, I mean, when they played last
100
time, they
Thieves?
beat them on Pearl.
what about Breeze? I feel like Breeze is more likely between these teams. I think Pearl's the second ban for Thieves, but what happens for Breeze?
Breeze, I'm actually fucking with what 100 Thieves are doing on Breeze. NRG had a great game plan specifically against KRÜ because it stopped less from going for those
mid.
like really early double door mid timings. That's not the game plan that you want against 100 Thieves. Like against 100 Thieves, it's much more important that you hard stuff them in the choke as they try to do their like A exec, and then hopefully you've like if you've picked the timing correctly and they've already used their Phoenix wall and they've already used their Harbor wall, they run them out of util. I think that's an important kind of like anti, but I think it's more difficult to execute than the KRÜ anti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last question, then, since we're all on the same page. We should be on this one as well. Who is winning Americas? Let's say it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. G2. Wow.
God, what a miserable time to be an America's fan this last year and a half has been.
I mean, it is crazy. Like EMEA is. This is what I always say about EMEA. It might have been shit, but it's unpredictable and crazy and fun. You know, you get a lot of glue. Even the bad games are funny. You just can't say this about America's. The bad games are shit. No. Like the bad teams get fucking rolled. Even in playoffs, the bad teams get fucking rolled.
This last stage, weeks 1 and 2 for Americas were banger because you had no idea who the fuck was so excited. Like, yeah,
first 2 weeks were so good, and then
we just went back to regular programming. Gosh. G2, welcome back. Oh,
it's worse programming because like it used to kind of be. I know it's always been like a 1-2 team region, but Sen have kind of been up there as well as like competitors, and they completely fell through. All the South American teams fell through. Like. Loud is the one that made it through, and they also kind of just flopped over. Like, this has been the most barren Americas has looked in a long time, I feel like, in comparison to some of the older stages, but maybe that fixes for stage 2. Second stage
all of last year was dog shit in Americas. It was literally just G2 and Sen.
As a G2 fan, it was
fucking amazing. Fan, it was probably a good time.
Yeah. Stage 2 for you guys, if you want to qualify to the comment section, write a comment. Subscribe if you want to make it to London. One of you lucky subscribers.
What would you do with MIBR?
Yeah, maybe you can help Aspas. But I need to know your opinion. So leave a comment, subscribe, like the video. Unfortunately, the dislike button got broken. Doesn't work right now, so we're getting somebody in to fix that. But until then, we'll see you guys.
Don't try it, please.
Don't try it. Actually, just don't try it. Actually, don't try it. It's not even a troll. You'll kill us all. We'll die. Or if you want us to die, we'll survive. So worst case scenario for you. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.